What's up, guys? We're live. My name's Sean. I'm a full-time clothing eBay reseller. Today we have a ton of sales to talk about. Also want to talk about sell-through rate, the importance of it, if you need to be thinking about it like when you start selling on eBay, or if you can kind of like not really worry about it, when to worry about it, and how it does affect your business ultimately whenever you're doing this reselling game. I hope the stream is good. I really do. It shows the red on OBS, and then YouTube is unlisted. So we are going to have to go back to YouTube and make it live. This happened last time, and I swear I thought I had everything correct. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of a different intro, but at least I know if you watch the replay, you're watching this now rather than, okay, yeah, so it shows live. It shows unlisted though, so it's live unlisted. Now we're live. To the people of YouTube, come on in. Let's hang out. Let's talk it up. So my name's Sean, full-time clothing reseller. We have over $1,672 in sales, and we're going to talk about sell-through rate, the importance of it, if you should be worrying about it on day one, or if you can kind of like not worry about it, and how it helps when you source, and how it helps analyze like how your business is doing overall, because it is a pretty big factor to consider if you're trying to make this a business and see like predictable results as you grow. All right. Man, I am rusty when it comes to OBS. Like, it's not like it's rust. It's just like, why does it take so long to like you do something one way and then you forget that you did it right the one way? So anyway, let's just get straight into it. My fingernails, I noticed just a second ago, whenever I was getting ready, I was like they're just long, like they need to be cut. Do you guys have scheduled fingernail clippings, like when to do them, or do you just kind of look down and you're like, all right, it's time to do this? Because it always sneaks up on me. I'm never really prepared for it. Flippin' Joker, you're the very first person in the chat. You said, let's do this. Good Sunday to you. Good Sunday to you too. I hope everyone's doing pretty good. Eric Smith said hi from Missouri. Yeah, no, sales have been pretty good. Since July 24th, they've been tremendous, or like on par or above average. And we had a bit of a slide through the summer, but I think we're starting to come out of it. I really do. School's starting up in, I think this is the last week of summer in Texas, and then next week it's like first week of school. So really excited. Watch out for the school zones because, yeah, they're going to get you if you're going over, 20 miles per hour. Flip It Good says, happy Sunday, Sean. I just ordered 1,000 poly bags with your link. If you guys are new, I just got my new like re-upped bags from Jiaropack, and I got the royal blues back, and then I also got this sweet this sweet color that I just opened up. That's the teal. If you guys didn't know, Jiaropack's a sponsor of mine. You can use Taylor10, you get 10% off, and you can get different colored poly mailers, and it's actually probably on par or cheaper than some of the other like that you can get from Amazon, because you're going directly from the website. So definitely awesome. Thank you for ordering that 1,000. I appreciate it, man. I hope you like them. I mean, I was able to do a pull-up with 2 of them and 3 of them, so it's they're good bags. They're good bags for sure. Let's get into the first item, though. So without delay, this is Eli Cattleman. Eli Cattleman sold for like $21. Yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride since that last video I put out. I was going to address it briefly just because there was the most comments ever on that video. It was the one about Kevin talking about the sell-through rate. Well, he said 70K is terrible for net, but then he pretty much the consensus was he was talking about margins. Roughly this year, let's just say I'll have 210,000 in sales, and in all actuality, I'll probably be closer to like 63,000, 70. But his range example that he used was 250K in sales and 70K net, and he said it was terrible because of the margins. I think it was a bit wrong to think that way, just because it doesn't match up with your ideology or like your belief on reselling. There's plenty of businesses in the world that run much tighter margins and are extremely successful. So don't get down on yourself if you're not making over 50% margins. Just realize you got to do a little more work, but the more you do the same stuff, the faster it gets, except OBS, because I still struggle with OBS. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out in the beginning. It just seemed to hit a nerve with a lot of viewers, because I think because it hit such a nerve with me, I knew it was going to kind of have that reaction. And I was honestly just kind of curious to see what else people thought, because I had such a high being called out on a show. Because, guys, if you guys didn't know, like, I've watched every episode of that podcast. Like, 93 episodes. That's over a year and a half. Every time I go to Dallas, it's almost like listening to your favorite show, pretty much. And then having them recognize that they watched your show, and you're like, oh, my God, like, they watched me on the internet. And then it got crashed down with some of those comments. So I just was like, this is crazy, man. Like, it shouldn't have happened that way. It should have been a smoother, like, there should have been more praise of me and what I'm doing, rather than like, oh yeah, this guy's pretty good. Okay. And then he's like, hey, wait a minute, this dude loves you. And yeah, I am inspired by Dave. There's a lot to like about the guy. It's just, you kind of got to see through some of the stuff that, he kind of like entertainment stuff that he does. Like, you got to see through that and see, like, I think it's different if you've sat down and edited a video, if you've like set up shots or set up like how I'm going to talk about this. Like, there's a lot that goes into content creation. So like, all these guys do well at it, and it's something to look up to, like, Daily Refinements in Tech are master resellers in clothing, and that's what I did to take from them. These guys are strong on content. So it was just like a whirlwind of emotions, and I had to get it out in a video, and I think it did pretty well. I think the video was made well, and I learned a lot about cutting a lot of stuff, like kind of like getting it very concise to what needed to be said, and then kind of leaving it at that without being overly critical and not like I wasn't like, I tried to steelman a little bit the argument, but I didn't go too in depth, because I mean, it in the end, like, I think if you're comfortable making what you're making and doing what you're doing, and I think that's fine. So just a little craziness though. Yeah. All right, so yeah, let's slap the label on it. That's the first one. Eli Cattleman, I'm still picking them up. If it's for like $5, I typically like, it needs to be a good size or plaid or color. $3 is almost like a guaranteed pickup. I find a lot of this for $2 to $3.50 is what I pick these up for. So, Shop Shoe Merchant, very interesting name, Shop Shoe Merchant. So shoe shop merchant. I see. Very cool. Howdy neighbor, how's it going? Are you in a neighboring state, or are you nearby? And do you do like retail arbitrage with shoes, or are you doing like used shoes? Because I did a little bit of the whole Marshalls type shoe situation. There's definitely money to be made there, but that's another one where you're spending like $40 on a brand new pair of shoes, or $60, and selling for like $120, $140, and you're making like, $30, something like that. So I did that a little bit. I did it 5 times, and the thing is, you can return the shoes after 45 days if you want to be that kind of guy, which would definitely hurt the relationship with the managers at the store, but like, you can talk with those managers about when the drops of shoes come. But there's definitely people in probably every Marshalls that have that connection, so it's very tough to break into that world, but really good money out there for sure. Kathy says, hi Sean, I'm interested in learning more about sell-through rate. Yes, that is why I titled the video and thumbnailed it the way I did, because I had a really good comment about I think it was a gentleman talking about trying to understand his sell-through rate. He was 1 month into reselling, and he was throwing all these numbers and data at me, and asking me like, is it good, is it bad? And I was like, you know what, I think we're going to talk about that during the live, because I think it throws a lot of people off, and there's definitely times when you need to pay attention to it, and there's other times where it's not quite as important, so we will get into that, Kathy, once the more people jump in. So let's get to the next item, though. Tons of items. I got 2.5 of the boxes that I use for inventory full of stuff, because there's like over 60 items. And then another sale came in. Oh, sorry. David, sorry, same town. This is David. Okay, David is in my same town. Okay, I got you. Shoe shop merchant. Very cool. Okay, I see what you're doing there. Yeah, David is a fellow reseller, thrifter, warrior, I like to call him. We're out here doing our thing. This is a Eddie Bauer flannel. This is a women's flannel. There was a time, folks, where I was buying a lot of women's flannels, a lot of women's plus size, and I just got a little tired of doing it. But this one did sell for $20. It's a size large. And, for the winter season, like, women's flannels, not a bad get. I mean, a lot of the mid-tier brands sell for $20 in women's flannels, and you can find them pretty easy off the rack. Like, they just stick out like a sore thumb, because a lot of the women's clothes I notice are lighter material, maybe thinner, but then the flannels are just a bit thicker, and it sticks out really easily. So there is some money there. I'm just Keith says, yo, good morning. What's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, we had a pretty solid morning. Got some sleep. My son Seth, he's 8.5 months, I think. Coming up on. Yeah, he'll be 9 months on the 12th. So he is, he woke up once last night, and my wife took care of him, so I didn't have to get up, and that was much needed, like, sleep. So, man, look at these bags. Aren't these bags sweet? This one is actually a little different. It's not as, like, silky smooth. It has, like, slight, let's see if you can see it. You see those slight dots on it? This one's slightly different than some of the other Jiaropack ones, so I wonder if they give me the stuff that's like, they're like, oh, let's just give him the stuff, and then we'll give the other stuff to other people, meaning, like, there's a different style of bag. It still seems fine. I don't see any issue with it. I'm not too overly critical about poly bags because I'm only shipping clothes, and I've never had any issues with the poly mailers, like, breaking or anything like that. So, yeah, I just love the vibrant colors, man. Flip It Good says, this is my second round of poly bags from that company. Very happy with them. What colors have you gone with, Flip It Good? Did you go crazy and get the daisy, or did you just go safe with like the white? Yeah, the poly bags from Jiaropack, I think they're great. I'm really glad they reached out to me. I don't know. I mean, I've made like decent commissions off of them because if you guys do want to support the channel, you can buy bags for your business that are cheaper with my discount Taylor 10, and then I actually get money off of that too. So that is a very cool thing, guys. It's very cool. I do want to talk to you about Poshmark. And last week, I know I mentioned, I think I like kind of slid it in there that I was going to experiment with Poshmark. I was reached out to by one of the cross-listing platforms, and I tested out their product, and I did the Poshmark for 4 days, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was too much clicking, too much like changing price, adding things. Like, and Poshmark is much different than eBay. It's much more basic. I just don't like it. I did not see it being worth the time. I have other avenues to make money, not just content, but like my influencer stuff that I do with Amazon. And yeah, that's where I'm going to focus my additional free time. And if you guys really need additional eyes on your items, you can like talk to some of the content creators that do promote listings on eBay. I myself don't. A lot of people ask. I have a very similar store to a friend of mine in Dallas, and he showed me his impressions based on promotions, and it was 4 times what mine is. So there you go. Like, it does absolutely work, but he does pay, I think, like, $1,500 a month in promoted listings. So it's a different strategy. I thought Poshmark cross-listing would be like free eyes on the product, but it was too much of a headache. And it was only like 20 or 30 seconds per item to cross-list, but I've got nearly 5,000 items, so like it just didn't even make sense, and I just didn't like it. The whole sharing thing was weird too. Darren Russell says, how do you get good sell-through rates when selling off-season items? Only going back 90 days doesn't really help, right? It does throw you off a little bit. So like what he's saying is, say it's the first day of spring, or like that March time whenever spring break's coming up and like people are going to start buying swim trunks. If you look up a swim trunk sell-through rate for the fall season, which is the past 90 days, it's not going to look very strong. And then you can look back a year on Jiaropack. I guess people talk about doing that. I personally don't do that because I'm okay waiting like 6 months to a year to sell the item. Some people can't wait that long, and that's part of the thing with the sell-through rate. So it's yeah, so like you kind of gotta understand the sales seasons a little bit, like spring, summer clothes sell better in that season, but it's easier to find those in the thrift store in the off season, and then vice versa with winter clothes. If you price good items fair, like it doesn't matter the season. People are gonna buy like a Viore board short or something like that in the wintertime if you price it right. It's just gonna sell. So it's I don't really know the help. I guess let me read your question. How do I get good sell-through rates? Well, you don't get good sell-through rates. So like the sell-through rate is the market. That the market is what the market is. I guess to identify it, the best way would be to maybe go to Jiaropack and look for the last year. It takes more work ahead of time. But if you've noticed the same brands in your stores, maybe you should write those brands down and do some deep research on like the year sales history of them. Or you say, okay, I'm going to spend $4 on this board short, and I'm willing to make that $8 to $10 to maybe $12 profit in a year when it's next summer, but I'm gonna stockpile up right now. So a couple ways to run it. I think a lot of people get wrapped up with everything should sell all the time or like steady throughout the year. Like my sales should never dip, but it's I don't know if volatile is the right word. It changes. The markets change. Like things in the world affect it. Holidays, time of year, like climate, like all that stuff kind of matters. So like I think what's most important for me, and I forget, a lot of people watching maybe within the first year of reselling or even the first month. So when I started, I itemized every item. I tried to make sure whatever I bought would sell, and then if it did, how much did it sell for, and then try to repeat it a couple times until I fell into, okay, like every time I look at eBay and it says 40 listed, 20 sold, it's taking about 6 months to sell, because would be like a 50% sell-through rate. So it's I was like, okay, but when I price it cheaper than everybody else, it's faster. Or my photos and the price, everything's better than the listings that are there, the 40 there, like mine are in the top 10, then that means you actually will sell it faster. It's like that sell-through rate doesn't necessarily affect you like it does everybody else. And then you kind of look into like, well, if there's only 20 sold in 90 days, like that's a slow selling item. Like you want to have an item sell 1,000 times in 30 days. And even if there is 4,000 listed, that's 25% sell through. But if you're in the top tier of the ones listed, maybe yours is like 50% sell through. So I would kind of like just, kind of make some mental notes and think like, as long as you're making money on the stuff and you're selling it quickly and you're not running out of space. That's the other thing. If you have a ton of space, you can go for stuff that sells slower, or like it doesn't matter as much. But if you're in a one-bedroom apartment or something, or a small house, and you have small limited space, you shouldn't be buying things that aren't moving fast. And if they aren't moving fast enough, you need to get rid of them quickly on Facebook or garage sale and like get your money back and be like, okay, I can't buy that right now. I'm not able to sit on that item because it just isn't moving fast enough. So like jackets, I don't buy a lot of jackets because I don't have, even the storage that I have, like jackets are huge and I can only store so many in this closet, and those are pretty seasonal. I mean, sometimes they sell in the summer, but a lot of times they sell in the winter. So let's see, Flippin' Joker, at the end of the day, all that matters is if you're happy with the results. Yeah, I agree. I'm just key. OBS will get easier with time. Dude, I don't know. OBS is throwing a loop. I need to watch some more videos. I watched one video and I started doing it, but I am okay with how the picture looks, and even if the beginning of the lives are a little, wonky, that's okay with me. I'm just key says, I'm actually inspired by Dave's entertainment value. Yeah, no, he's a pretty talented dude. And then Shoe Shop Merchant, we talked about David, all right. Howdy from North Carolina. What's up, Tim? How's North Carolina? I've never been. Carolinas, Virginias, those types of places. I don't really, here's the eBay Open Cup. What? 2022. That was in Austin. Me and my dad made a little road trip to Austin, and I did the eBay Open thing. It was interesting, to say the least. Very interesting. A little too forced, in my opinion. They weren't very loose, I honestly, I don't know. I felt like I was kind of just... that was before I got back into YouTube, actually. And I don't know. I just felt like it was a very weird mix of people. Like, there were massive enterprise sellers, and then there were like very beginner part-time sellers. And it was very hard to figure out who to talk to because it's hard to relate to some people. I talked to both the enterprise sellers that were, had like 100-person staff, and then I talked to the person that was just getting into reselling, trying to give him some tips. But it was cool. I mean, got a lot of swag, I guess. Marcy says, hi, finally got to see you live. Well, hello, good to see you. Very nice. I'm glad you popped in. Now, okay, guys, I may put a poll out on the YouTube comment, post page or whatever, and my Instagram. When football season starts, you guys know I'm a huge Bears fan. I'm going to be watching every game and probably moderately drinking. So should I do the lives after the game on Sunday, which depending on how the Bears play and like how the officiating and all that goes, I could either be one, like super hype, or I could be like really, really angry and like upset. And I don't know if you guys want to like, hear football rants and stuff, but the other option is to do it on Saturdays. I'll have less items on Saturday to pack, so the lives may be a little shorter. So that is another thing. And honestly, it'd probably be better to do Sunday nights, but I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I mean, I know Sundays people like to hang out with family and kind of relax and like mentally get focused for the work week, but I got to figure it out. That last sale, that was a Royal Robbins, and it sold for $22.50. It's a long sleeve button shirt. This one's a Ralph Lauren classic. This one sold for almost, I think it was nearly full price. It was $15.43 plus $8.99 shipping, so like $24.50 on that. And yeah, that's pretty good for the Ralph Lauren. Pretty standard, $25. Kathy says, hi, Tim. You're from North Carolina as well. Oh, a couple Carolinians, North Carolinians in here. Wrestling Figs. Bro, I don't know what to do. I started selling 3 months ago. You've sold 200 items and made $6,000. And yesterday, eBay is holding my payments. I have no issues, no returns. I called eBay and no real answer. Wrestling Figs, you have fallen into you are too good at eBay, and you shocked eBay's system a little bit. So the reason that happened is because one, there's a lot of like accounts that come in that are scamming accounts. Not saying you're like flagged as a scam account. I'm just saying they have like these things built in place. Another thing is like they don't know who you are as a seller. So like most sellers have limits on how much they can list, how much they can sell, and you're just like bypassing a bunch of it by doing extremely well. So yeah, expect your stuff to probably be on hold for a little while, but rest assured you're gonna crush the game if you're already doing that well. So I would kind of just like, take a chill pill, maybe sharpen up some of the stuff you're doing, around your business. I don't know if it's your full-time or part-time, but maybe buy a couple items. Don't overbuy because you are waiting for that money, but yeah, you'll be okay as long as you haven't sold anything that was borderline like oxygen tank machine or like the stuff that you're not supposed to sell. That would be a problem. But yeah, I think it's just because of the amount of money you did so quickly is what it is. But yeah, it's kind of a good problem. It's kind of a good problem. Yeah, if it's a brand new account, that's gonna happen. Let's see. I'm just Key says that's the same color as my bubble mailers. Right on, Key. Right on, man. Yeah, I think they're cool. This is like, I don't know if it's a teal green or something. I think it's pretty dope. I like it. He gave me 2 of the royal blues. He's like, I heard you talking. This is my contact at Jiaropack. He's like, I heard you talking about royal blue. He's like, so I made sure to get you those or whatever. At Figs, sometimes they do that to make it sure you're real. Yeah, I mean, it's just a numbers thing, and it's not even a person doing it. It's probably just a little threshold you hit and the little thing they have set up, like a little safeguard. Because also, I believe there's like a lot of money laundering on eBay as well, and I think that's a big concern with them. They could think you're a drug dealer or something. I mean, seriously, like that. A lot of stuff goes through the mail like that. So, Flippy Good says, I got the royal blue 9x12s. The 6x9s that I ordered today were limited color, so I ordered white. Oh, I see. What are you doing 6x9? What are you mailing with that? And the 9x12s are good. I don't know if I did the 10x13s. I think I got the 10x13s because Randy, the clear white mailers that I use, or they're not mailers, the poly bags that store my inventory, these right here. I bought a batch of 9x12s because it was slightly cheaper, and Randy, my part-time employee, she was having a little bit of issues getting like the jeans and stuff in there. So she was like, can we go back to the 10x13s? And I was like, no problem. And then when I looked, I had double ordered shipping labels, and I didn't order any of the clear bags. So I'm down to like 100 clear bags, and I just ordered 4,000 of them. So we're going to have enough. But yeah, it was a bit of a oh snap moment. Like maybe I should have had a log or like an Excel spreadsheet. The problem is remembering to check that stuff, So my friend Brian, though, Brian Roning, he's a reseller in clothing as well out of Arizona. He has it on what is it called? Reoccurring orders, and it's actually a little cheaper, he said. He gets like a discount for that. Mary Mary's Market. I don't see a link for these poly bags. It's the Jiaropack one in the description. Let me know if it's there. I'm going to go to the main page and see. It should be there. They're on every single one. 67 concurrent viewers, 14 likes. I appreciate everyone that's come in so far. I'm going to find that link for you. It should be. Let me know if it's in the description, guys. I mean, it should be. I need to find where to go on my computer. This MacBook, though, oh my gosh. Like, there is a reason people are obsessed with this computer. It's just it's very fluid. And I didn't think I'd like the trackpad, and I was actually worried. The only thing is there's no USBs, like the old school USBs. There's just the, what is it, USB-C, where it looks kind of like a lightning port. That's one of the only ones there. Let's see. Let me go back here. Into the chat. There it is. There's the Jiaropack. Use Taylor 10 though. Don't forget to use the code because that's how you get your discount. 10% off. Pretty awesome. I had a friend of mine ordered was it the 5,000 pack? 4,000 or 5? I think it was 5,000 he ordered. I was like, dude, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, but I mean, when you're selling okay, here's another thing about selling volume. Here's one thing I want to talk about. So if you guys have made an LLC for your business, I would highly recommend doing it if it's, if you're making well, shoot, even if it's like 5 or 10 grand a month or a year, I would suggest doing it. And here's a couple of reasons why. One, you can get certain business credit cards with your EIN, like the Amex Gold card. That actually has 4% cash back on shipping labels. So I spend at least $50,000 a year on shipping labels. This year's probably going to be higher. And that means I would make $2,000 just on that 4%. This year I have a 3% card, so I'll make $1,500. Now, the card I have now, it's $95 a year, and then the other one is, I think, $295 a year. But the card that I have to get the 3% labels, it gives me $1,000 bonus cash. So $1,000 plus the $1,500 at the end of the year, that's $2,500 just on business operations of using the card. And to get the 1,000, you had to spend $15,000 in 3 months. But when you're running this many things like purchases, it's not very hard to do. But yeah, it's a different world, man. We're not selling ashtrays here, folks. We're selling $20 shirts. Just doing a lot of them. And this is another one. This is a Ralph Lauren. It's just a classic blue XL polo. This one sold for $21.34. And I got to label it. Man, every time I'm in here, it's like the lights or something. Just there we go. It gets hot. And it's hot in Texas, y'all. It is hot. It is hot. It bothers me because I can't take Ragnar on walks unless it's early in the morning, which I don't really like walking early in the morning. And then Seth, I can't take my son out because he's so he just can't handle the heat, man. He's too chunky. He can't handle the heat very well. So I'm kind of like, well, what are we going to do inside? Play with some toys, whatever. Anyway, all right, let's see some more comments. We talked about poly bags enough. Let's move on. I got to try the Amazon influencer program again. They got something against me. Hey, my buddy Brian, he's struggling to get in. So you have to build, it's a certain engagement. I don't know if it's certain followers. They don't give out the data on what you get accepted on, but I know some people are creating TikTok accounts and getting accepted. But yeah, I made 15 videos for products yesterday, and it's so fast to do, once you figure out your system of doing it. So if you guys see my face on some Amazon products, buy it. Watch the video and buy the stuff, because that's how that works. And it's a pretty cool thing. Kathy says, I use the navy blue poly mailers because I think they are less likely to be spotted and stolen by porch pirates. Interesting. So you're going for a bit of a what's it called, camouflage type. What if they had a camouflage one? That'd be cool. Honestly, I don't know, the porch pirate thing, those people are out of their minds, right? A lot of them are on drugs. A lot of them just there's probably no rhyme or reason, for what they're doing. It's a sad thing that's something you got to worry about, man. Now, my neighborhood, it's not an HOA. It's not a gated community. And this lady came up to the house at 8:30 in the morning and rang the doorbell and was like, could I get some money for cigarettes? My husband lost his wallet when we were celebrating his birthday last night. Yeah, I was like, no. I should have reached to my wallet and been like, no, of course not. I'm not going to give you cigarette money. Like, leave me alone. My wife called, like, the non-emergency number. She's like, this dude's, like, is a woman. Is an old woman, but. Yeah, I mean, it's like, dude, how's that my problem? You don't have money for cigarettes. Give me a break, dude. Honestly, what I should have told her is, like, you can hang out where they put cigarette butts out and just relight those. I know a guy who did that in the 6th grade. True story. I could have told her to give her some advice. Wrestling Figs says, so others have had this issue. Hopefully it goes away thanks to... Oh, yeah, for sure, man, for sure. When you start an eBay account, like, yeah, you're governed on, like, how many listings and stuff, and they don't know who anybody is that signs up for eBay. So, like, it's just a little, like, thing they put in place to, you know, try to prevent fraud and, like, make sure you're legit, you know. So, let's see. Mary said that's good thinking by Kathy. I agree. Buddy, we need to get together. I'll roll through a virtual assistant with you. Super easy. I don't want a virtual assistant. I have Randy. I don't need a virtual assistant. Or are you talking about a virtual assistant for, like, listings, or are you talking about for, like, ordering my poly mailers and stuff? Or, like, my clear bags? Link for the poly bags, Mary, I put it in there already in the chat. You can scroll back or look in the description of the videos. But I think you had already said you figured it out. Yeah, now you see it. Austin says, Sean, thank you for being so helpful and informative. I enjoy watching your content. Do you consider doing live thrift videos or more thrift hauls? I love to see the different items people get. So the problem with live thrift videos, like, I have a couple that have been pretty strong performers, but during those videos, because I have to drive 2 hours to source in the bigger cities, I lose 1 to 2 stores when I film. So 1 to 2 stores is equivalent to, like, anywhere from, like, 20 items to, like, 60 items. And if you multiply that by, like, 7, my average profit per item, it's a lot of money. And the videos, trust me, aren't making that much money. So there's a couple things I want to do as far as, like, live thrift hauls, like going through each item. I'm not sure a lot of people care to see that. I try to talk about what I'm selling on here, and a lot of people just look at my store as well, which doesn't help the store, so shame on you for that. But not shame. I understand. Like, it's a strategic thing. I would suggest, you know what, for you, like, maybe I'll do, like, a thrift video. I am doing the Oklahoma City video, so, like, I'm trying to develop a thrift route in the northern state, or what would it be, like your sister state, like your buddy state, you're next to each other, brushing shoulders with them. I'm gonna make the videos on that, but yeah, it's tough, man. It's not quite as easy to, like, even the whole garage sale thing. I went to a couple of garage sales with Seth, and we went to 3, and I found, I think, 7 items. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just not in that. I'm not in that game anymore. I have other things that I'm doing right now. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I appreciate you liking the content, though. J-Ride Flips, still crushing it, dude. I'm so jealous of some of the clothes you pick up because I don't know if you're just capturing the best stuff and going through the whole rack, that's what a lot of people do. But it just seems like that area of the country has some really nice looking pieces for $5. So, being a Bears fans, you'll be drinking very heavily. Very funny, J-Ride, but we actually have a top 10 receiver. Justin Fields is in his 3rd year. I think we're gonna shock the league, to say the least. But yeah, no, my dad and I, we throw a few back, and they're big into cigars, so I get, like, I'm not even strong enough, like, as a human to handle, like, the, those big, I don't know, was it 7 3/4 inch cigar? Like, they're huge, dude. I'm not that kind of guy. So yeah, we'll be throwing them back though for sure. Wrestling Figs, saying what's up to J-Ride, bro. You made a bunch of money. Yeah, the brush poppers is probably the biggest thing J-Ride has added to my life, because I sold one for like $95 or something, and I've bought 3 more since then. And I buy them before, but, like, I just didn't understand. Actually, no, well, they are hard to find. No, don't get me wrong. Like, I know I've picked them up once before, and I probably undersold the crap out of it. Mary says, do the live before the Bears play. We're in Illinois. My husband is a huge Bears fan, so I absolutely know how a bad game can change the whole mood. I know. Do you guys watch the Tape Never Lives? I'll shout out their podcast. The Tape Never Lies is like the most diehard Chicago Bears fan on the planet. I watch it every Wednesday night. So I watch the Trash to Cash in the morning on the way to Dallas, and on the way back, the 2-hour drive, I listen to the Tape Never Lies Bears show. But I also make phone calls with people too, because I'm a chatty Cathy, if you guys didn't know. All right, this is a Nike short sleeve polo. It's gonna be $18 on the purple polo. So I'm not spending a lot on Nike stuff. It does okay. Usually you're looking for bigger sizes as usual. This one's like a extra large, which I thought was big enough, but not quite. Not quite. And it's purple. I mean, some purples do good, but it's not the best color. Flip It Good says you're swimming in ladies' underwears, mostly on Amazon. Yeah, I'm not an Amazon seller. I just make videos for products. But that's cool, I guess. But yeah, that means you're buying a lot, so you gotta go to the lady section and buy up all underwear. I bet you get some looks, though, huh? You're in Illinois, Stu? Yeah. Oh, Mary? Okay, Mary. Yeah, you're in Illinois. Great Deals Depot. Boo! This is what resellers do over the weekend. It never ends, just listing here. Yeah, no, I mean, don't really... I kind of miss what you're booing at, but yeah, it's... this is my weekend thing, man. I get on and I try to ship items and talk to you guys. I like it. I think it's fun. I was so like, okay, so like FlipCon is going on, and I was really thinking that I would go, but I wanted to grow my following and like experience with content so that whenever I went, I could ask some of the higher creators that are there like some serious questions rather than just like, it's so nice to see you. But it's cool, man. I wish I could go. I think next year I don't know if they're doing it, but there'll be other things to do, and I think maybe. And Seth is so young, right? Like he's 8.5 months, so like him, my wife, Ragnar, they need me here. But next year he'll be a little more of a man, you know. He'll be 1.5. So maybe I'll be able to take a few more vacations. I want to go to Arizona to see my friend Brian, but I think I'm gonna take them on like them meaning my family. Take my family on like a Grand Canyon like road trip type situation. So that's something I'm looking forward to. But I want to do like trips and stuff and content on those trips. I want to test the waters. Like thrifting across America is what the American Arbitrage guy's doing. Carrie, and dude, it's cool. Like he was in Dallas the same day I was in Dallas, but like in a different town. And I wish I would have bumped into him, but no big deal. They went to a Rangers game as well, which is a cool thing. Wrestling Fig says I'm in Wisconsin. So if you're a Packers fan, dude, the exit, you know where it's at. Just click the red X and get out of here. No. I think the Packers are gonna get packed in this year because they're not gonna have Aaron Rodgers, and yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Jack says should say go hit up CW Picker. He's rich. Yeah, he's doing. I mean, okay, think about this. Like this year on content alone and sponsors and all that stuff, like I'll probably make between $10,000 and $12,000, and that's from February on to the end of the year. Like those guys are making like a lot of money doing the content. So yeah, I would say like, I mean, they're pretty wealthy, dude. I mean, they're like, I don't know. And see, that's the whole thing. Some people like wealthy is $1 million, and then some people are like, dude, like 10 million is wealthy, and then some people like 50,000 is wealthy. You know, like I just don't know. I mean, I've done a lot of different jobs and worked really hard for little money in the past, and I'm still working pretty well. I wouldn't say I'm working very hard. This stuff has gotten pretty easy for me. It's just there's like now I've kind of have the options to figure out where I want to make the money, and it's a nice place to be in. It took a while, but it's definitely doable. Wrestling Fig says they gave me 700 listings now. Oh, you're talking about the thing? ADH Dave is comical. I like the dude. Yeah. Well, it's he has a lot of, I don't know, just you can tell when he's like analyzing something and being serious, and then you can tell when he's just joking. So like he's an interesting guy. I definitely like to have a conversation with him. Great Deals Depot says, I have a good story. I've had a lawyer firm come after me for trademark infringement. We settle on tomorrow. We settle on tomorrow. Monday for $1,000, and I did not even sell any, thank God. Whoa, what are you talking about? Are you talking about trademark because of your logo? I've had a lawyer firm come after me for trademark infringement. Yeah, interesting. So yeah, that shake hands thing that I have, I actually paid for the image. You can like pay for the image, and then if you want to sell the image with like a sticker, I have to pay for like a subscription to like own the rights to sell. It's something like that. But that's interesting. I wonder what that, I don't know. I need to read more about what you're saying. They're trying to collect $2 million from each sold. eBay has contacted me, and the firm has my bank account info and eBay info. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, you got to be careful. I'm definitely not selling the handshake thing. Is like somebody made that, right? And it's not mine, right? It's not mine. I added the words or whatever, but there's a lot of rules with that stuff, and that's why when you start selling things like that, it's a pretty serious thing. Austin says, I get that. I'm not full-time eBay, maybe one day, so I like the feeling of living vicariously through other resellers who get to go thrifting far more often than me. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, it's cool, man. And honestly, like, thrifting is great, I guess. But when you've hit a lot of the highs, you know, like the Robert Graham limited edition that I found, or like the Nirvana vintage shirt. Like when you hit some of these items, like it's kind of like a drug. Like you can't really get that high again. Like it's very hard, you know. And then it's like, oh, like here's a $50 shirt or whatever. Like great, like I'm gonna make some good money on it. But when you do it a lot, it kind of isn't that great. So like when these people make these videos over and over and over again, I think the biggest example I can say is when. What's the one guy, the bearded guy in his garage or shed? It's not Shed Flips, is it? Shoot. It's him and his wife doing it, and it's like green in the back. Like he layered his walls with green stuff. Maybe it's Shed Flips. Lonnie, that's the guy, Lonnie. He had a short run podcast with these, with Thrift Mind, I think his name is, Thrift Mind, and this other guy. Justin, and they were talking about he's like, dude, I just couldn't do it anymore, the what solds and all that. He's like, I just couldn't do it, and then now he's back to it. So he like had to take a break because it weighs on you, dude. It's like the same thing. That's why I don't I'm really trying to figure out now, like I'm coming into a little bit of people watching and stuff, and I want to make sure that I don't get like burnt out and come off as like lazy with the content, because you can see it when you're editing. Like the one video I did, it didn't do that great, but like I was sick during it, and I felt like I had to get it out because of the timing and stuff. Not the last video, but the video before, I think. And it just didn't. It kind of was like flat, and like the editing wasn't great, and I was kind of like, dude, it's like you gotta make sure that you're enjoying what you're putting out. But if you want to like do that, there's plenty of people to definitely see like how their reselling career or job is going. Like it's a cool thing. That's a lot of words though. All right, here's the cinch button up. This one went for $30, and the reason it did is because it's got armadillo on it. Little armadillos. I feel like the only time I've ever seen an armadillo is dead on the side of the road with his like feet up in the air. Never seen one actually in the living. Never seen one in the living. David says, we thrift in Vegas, DFW, St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Houston, San Antonio. We like traveling. That's awesome. See, and I would like to do that too with my wife and son. It's just, if you can make the money on the content doing it, that's pretty powerful. And then also, I think Houston's got to be like the thrift capital of the country. I mean, that is they just got so much there. I mean, it's a huge city, right? And it's got the ports. It's got the port advantage. So, like, a lot of things funnels to Houston. Miami's similar, I think. But I think Houston is slightly cheaper. Yeah, $30 on the cinch, dude. Not too bad. Southern Tide, man. I swear, Southern Tide used to do a little bit better. Southern Marsh is the best of the Southerns. But yeah, this is just a standard shirt. Sold for 19. Whatevs, dude. Or 18. Samantha, what's up? Good to see you. Hey, Sean, any tips on how to take pictures faster? I do clothing. I use a flat lay. Curious the size of yours, but it takes us forever to make the item lay smooth and look nice, etc. Is it just me? You could have a little bit of the OCD trying to get it like perfectly straight. I am going to make a different photo setup. There's one that doesn't have a hanger and it is the flat lay, but the way the structure is built is pretty basic, and I'm actually going to do that. I use a 4x4 quarter-inch piece of plywood, and then I put like a rug on mine, but I use the hanger, and I don't take the wrinkles out. Like, I steam the stuff I sell in person with my buy-sell trade store, office store, but I don't sell very many of those. But like, those are steamed. The stuff on eBay, it doesn't get steamed. Some of it gets washed, but like a lot of it's just on the hanger. So I think you may just be looking into it a little too much. But if you're doing women's clothes or certain items, some of them like look better steamed, you know. So I would say some people use point and shoot cameras. My friend Brian used a point and shoot camera, and the fast thing that helps with that is the memory card to the computer is much faster. It's instant pretty much, rather than I have to stick a cord and then transfer, and it takes like a few minutes to transfer. So like that's a thing. And then, you know, just like pressing the button and clicking, like I think that speed is pretty similar across phones and cameras. I don't know if it gets much faster than that like half-second count, you know, when you click. But yeah, I don't know. I've had a few people message me saying like, are you going to iron the shirt before sending it? And I'm just like, no, like it's getting sent the way it is, man. But most of the time people don't have any problem with it. And a lot of times people wash and iron the stuff themselves anyway. I myself will wear shirts right off of the thrift store. If like yesterday or last week I was thrifting, I was eating chicken nuggets, and the honey, I use honey with my chicken nuggets. Go ahead, you can judge if you want. But I spilt some on my black shirt, and then I bought a black shirt, just switched shirts from the thrift. It's actually the Old Navy one with 60% cotton, 40% polyester. And I bought a medium, and of course it's like they don't fit. It's too small because it gets washed, and a lot of times it just ends up being too tight. Here's Wrangler Retro. Can't really see that it'll say retro on the inside tag. This one sold for 17 plus 9, so $26. I used to go super heavy on Wrangler Retros because they used to sell for like 30 to 40 pretty consistently. This one is a slim straight. Okay. Oh, I see. But its tag size is a 38-36, and that's probably why it got the money on the sale, because the size is kind of big, at least the inseam. Big-waisted jeans, I don't think are that great. They mainly just take up space, but big inseams are good. So I packed this up in a flat rate because it's typically $7.60, but now with Ground Advantage, sometimes it can be like $7.35, and then Priority without Ground Advantage can be like $7.20. They just change things up a little bit, so shouldn't be too quick to put this in here. It worked out this time, but sometimes I've been like having to rip this open to save the 40 cents. On the label. It's something I gotta remember, because I used to, if it's over a pound, I used to just click flat rate and start bagging it up. But yeah, you gotta be a little more careful now if you want to save the 40 cents, or just be a baller and just pay extra. Let's see. Aesthetic Alpha. When I see your shopping spree days to get inventory compared to where I live, I don't find the same prices. Yeah. So, oh shoot. I threw that one and I didn't even print the label. You guys got me distracted a little bit. Here we go. It looks good though with the eBay tape. Yeah, so I'll tell you a little something. Aesthetic Alphabet, which is Alpha. That's a pretty crazy name. Let's just get that out of the way. Here's how I did it, right? So the very first time I went to Dallas, Fort Worth, I wasn't very good at clothing. I didn't know. I was still doing shoes, a lot of jeans. And the very first time I went, my cost of goods were $7.65. That was like 2 years ago. It was late 2021, I guess, or 2021. Late 2021. And what happened was I was like, I don't think I can do this. I don't think it's going to work. So what I had to do was I made notes about every thrift store, and I went to every thrift store I could. There's probably a couple I still need to go to, but like I would go to them. I would ask them, hey, are there any sales days? If they said we have a color day on this day, I'd write it down. When does the color change? Like, that's important. oh, Salvation Armies in my town are half off like on Wednesdays. Like that's a pretty big deal. So it's like on that day, maybe I need to hit all 4 of those Salvation Armies because that's where you're going to get the cheaper inventory. And then also, you know, it'll be picked through, so you got to understand where the profit is on the items that are left over. Another thing is like, it took me like months and months and months. And then eventually the cost of goods just went low, 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 low. And now it's like, you know, before it was like $3.15 a piece. Now it's a little bit higher because I pay up for some items because I know that they sell well. And yeah, it's just, you know, if you go to the one thrift store and you're like, oh, this is too expensive. Like, well, yeah, I mean, you got to really understand. And some stores in some towns and some cities are really expensive. And that's like, I got to drive 2 hours to go to the route because there's hundreds of thrift stores there. In my town, there's like 2 legit thrift stores, or maybe 3, and that's it. And it's a tough thing. It's a lot of people see it and they're like, oh, you make so many sales. Like, how do you do it? It's like the amount of time and effort put into thinking about it and like buying stuff that didn't sell or like only broke even on it. It's like, okay, cross that one off the list. Like, oh, here's a brand I didn't know. Like, let me look it up. Or, oh, it's weird. Like this, what's a good example? This Magellan shirt doesn't sell at all in a medium or a large. Oh, but at a 3XL, it sells for like $30. I mean, that's out there. That, you know, that is out there. So it's one of those things. It's a learning thing. Yeah. It stinks though. Some places are extremely overpriced though. Great deals. It was arbitrage. Ah, I see. Used their name in a listing when I purchased an Amazon return pallet. Now we know why this item was returned. Amazon probably pulled it. Yikes, dude. Yikes. That is a story, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it works out. But yeah, that stinks, man. That stinks. And it's crazy because, like, what's the defense like? Oh, come on, I'm just a guy like trying to make some money. And they're like, no, you're a business that is, you know, profiting off of this other company. And they don't, it'd be hard to be like, oh, come on, man, I'm just little old meat here buying and selling these. Like, they're going to treat you. And then, you know, they got like more resources than you and stuff. So it's annoying. But hey, you're probably learning some stuff though out of it. But yeah, that's definitely annoying. It's definitely annoying. Yeah, Houston's insane for sure. How come you don't get inventory from the Goodwill bins? Just curious. A lot of people ask me that. Because I have to drive 2 hours, say I stay, you know, and I want to make the video on it, spend 6 hours at the bins, but what if I only got 50 items? And yeah, I paid like, what, $40 or, you know, something really cheap. That's 4 hours of commuting. Like, well, to the bins there, I think it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. So like, you know, 4.5 hours to commute for 50 items. Like, I need to get more items, whether or not it's paying a little more or not. Like, that's mainly why I do it. And also, I hear the whole thing about, like, just the environment itself, like, protecting your items so people don't steal from it. Like, having to, like, I have to pee, like, you know, when I'm at those stores, like, I can't just be there and be like, I'd have to go with a friend. I'd have to go, like, I'd have to have a reason to be in Dallas anyway. And like maybe like my wife and I, we like to get this thing called Snow City. It's like a very fancy snow cone, but it's very finely shaved. It's like a gourmet snow cone. And it yeah, so if we're there, maybe we'll pop into the bins, but honestly, I just don't, you know, I feel like I'm more effective the way I'm doing it. So, but yeah, people ask me that all the time. It's because it's so far away is part of the reason. And I'm not doing like women's either. So like, I think my friend's doing it in Arizona and he's like, look, I got to pick women's up if it's there. Like I have to, you know, I'm just not trying to break that mold. Like I'm trying to build this as consistent and predictable as possible. And then eventually this business of making 60, 70,000, you know, maybe 80 ideally one day, I can pass that entirely to my employee. And then, yeah, I take a pay cut because I'm paying her full-time hours, but then I'm using my time to build an entirely different business. Now, if you throw in a bunch of different items, like it makes it more difficult for them, like more questions come to you. But if you're buying button-ups, polos, t-shirts, jeans, like very similar, like you're going to be able to pass it off. Like look at McDonald's, right? Like McDonald's has a very basic, you know, color by number business, and they can hire people and tell them like, hey, this is what I need you to do. There's no veering off. This is just how it is. That's what I'm trying to do with this business. It's a vehicle to create consistent cash and free my time up so I can either, one, free my wife's life up and have her get out of her job, or two, like have time to build like something else. Because I mean, reselling is cool, but man, it's the way I'm doing it. It's not very fun. It's not fun. This is fun. Like talking to you guys is fun. You know, this is what I like to do. I'm a talker. I like to talk. I like to entertain. And I'm trying to get better at doing videos. Like I really think about it a lot, like different shots and stuff. This brand's called Turtleson. And the reason I'm talking about this one is because I swear this Turtleson brand used to be a lot better. It's got this little turtle on it. And it's not that great anymore. It's like a nice feeling golf, polo shirt. But this one went for 18, So like I'm only spending $3 or less if it sells for 18 shipped. If I paid $5 and it sells for 18 shipped, then I have to like really consider ever doing that again, because it's just, I do have some standards when it comes to this margin stuff. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this brand. Sometimes you have to like refresh and look at the general sales, because some items will dip on down in value. Tim says, how long did it take you to build a store the size it is today? So 2019 in September is when I started eBay. And when I quit my full-time job in 2021, I probably had, I don't know if I had like 1,200 listings. I honestly I don't know. I don't even know how to figure out. I guess I could watch some of my old YouTube videos and maybe I mentioned it. But yeah, I mean, it took a couple years. For sure. But now it's not really like, it's not grown past 5,000 listings, because I'm not really buying all that much more, and I'm not listing that much more, because I wasn't able to. I kind of hit like my mental limits on how much I could work, or how much I wanted to work really. And then now I'm buying back my time with the part-timer, and it's just a lot of learning, man. I mean, I opened I got an office building that has a first floor access, like an exterior door. So I'm marketing it as a buy-sell trade store in my town, and I've been able to get some buyouts from it. And those buyouts are extremely profitable and fun. Those are fun. Those are things I want to video. It's just very kind of like, it's kind of weird, like saying, hey, I want to film you, give me your stuff, you're selling me your stuff. So it's a little tricky to develop the video that way. But yeah, that's a cool thing. So Andy So Meta, what's up, man? Yo to you too. Happy Sunday. Glad to have you in, dude. Let's see. This one is one of those that's over £1, but it's actually going to be cheaper to just put in a poly mailer because of just the way shipping has changed. 720 priority, and whoa, Ground Advantage, $6.94 for a 1 pound, 9 ounce item. So there you go. Ground Advantage saved us 66 cents. That's pretty dope. I really like that. Samantha says, I probably am just being too particular with my picks. I'm going to time myself to improve. Yeah, how about you do this too? Like, don't worry about like neatness, just kind of sloppy, like throw it on and just see how fast you can get. And you're like, okay, that's the fastest I can do with like photos. And then just see like, okay, if I move my arms 1 time, 2 times to get it straight. Like with the shirts, I put them like that instead of like open with the sleeves. And then that's all I really do. And then start the photos from there. So, and yeah, just see what you can do. But for me, I think a minute is pretty fast. And that's like t-shirt. And I mean, I've actually considered eliminating some photos just to go a little faster. Like I do the collar button because I want to put that in the item specifics, but I don't think that item specific matters all that much. I think if people are that concerned, they're going to zoom in on the main photo and see if it has a button or not. I don't think they need to have a bullet point check to say, oh, it's buttoned down or whatever. So yeah, I mean, and maybe you can get away with 6 photos rather than like 9 or 12. Because right now I think I'm doing, Randy, she'll do between like 6 to like 9, I think. 6 to 9. And stuff sells, so, I mean, who's to say you have to do that many? I don't know. Jason says, what's your minimum sale price if your cost of goods is 6 or more? So I actually have a sheet that I put in my, what's it called? Linktree. It's a Google, is it Google Sheets? Is that what they call it? So, okay, so if a shirt is $5.99 on the rack, the bare minimum would be $20 shipped. And let's just show like what profit that actually is with the eBay fee calculator. If you guys didn't know, this is here. So buy it now price, it would be $20 shipped, so $11.01 plus $8.99 shipping. Buy cost $6, shipping cost average of $5. So that item's going to net profit $5.88 as a top rated seller. So you're spending $6 and you're pretty much making like $5.88. So that is the bare minimum. But I'm not, that would be like, oh, the item didn't do well where I thought it should have done, so I accepted 20 shipped, or like 19 shipped really, because a lot of people send $10 plus the shipping as a offer. So yeah, that's where it is. And I'm okay waiting 6 months to get that $5, which a lot of people aren't. But when you do it year after year, obviously every day those sales come in. So as long as you're picking up similar items with similar sell-through and things like that. How do you price Ralph Lauren large patch on the pony? So you're talking about the big pony? Depends if it's a polo. It depends on the size. It depends if, it depends on condition. It depends on color. It depends on, like, pattern. I mean, there's a lot of stuff it depends on. If it's got, like, different patches. But if you're just talking about, like, see, and I was going to say a black one, but black ones I think are better than blues. So I guess the minimum would for me would be like $29.99 plus $8.99 shipping. But if it was a bigger size, maybe $39.99 plus shipping, so $40-$50 range. And then it's like I don't see those that often, so I need to look at the data just to make sure I'm not underselling. But yeah, I think that's something you can get for that. Let's go back to the stream. I should have brought my water out here. This coffee is from like this morning and it's empty. 69 people watching, 27 likes. Appreciate everybody in. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. I know I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good right now. This pair of jeans is very interesting. This one is a clothes pedal pusher. Well, let's just call it. So the brand is called Clothes. If any female women's sellers in here, let's see. I'm trying to get that right. Anyway, Closed. I bought this from a German woman at a yard sale for $5. And it had pedal pushers, and then it had like a snip mark, like where you would cut the jeans or something. Not really sure, but I knew these were expensive because they're made in Italy. Most things are expensive that are made in Italy. And it sold for $30 plus the shipping. So almost $40 on these. And it did sit for a little while. I think it was an entire year that these sat for. Great deals. Depot says, lesson learned for sure, never again. Dude, and talk about like the stomach nerves and stuff from doing that. I absolutely understand what that feels like. It's almost like, is this even happening to me? Like, what did I get myself into? Like, I thought I was doing the right thing, you know? I've done it 100 times. Like, here it goes. Like, now this is happening. Like, it sucks. I get it, man. Hopefully it doesn't cost you too much. Samantha says, maybe make a route with thrift stores you can hit around the bins so that if that's a bust, you could try the retail stores. It would be like hitting the bins for the first rotation to get a little taste, a little bit of content, a little bit of that grunge, you know, maybe get that single stitch, you know, that corduroy hat, and then just like maybe walk straight in and just throw some ones. Just be like, hey guys, I'm here to shop. Like, do you know who I am? No. So that would be a good idea, but I already know what I'm expected to hit when I go on my route. So it's like I'm almost like costing myself money by taking a risk. You know what I'm saying? So, but maybe it's worth it. I don't know. Maybe it is. And yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I just don't see like people love the bins, and I think the people that do well at the bins go to the bins every single day. So that if they don't hit on 4 days of the week, the 3 days they hit so hard, it makes up for the 4. That's my, you know, belief on it. So, but yeah, sorry. Everyone they're like, man, you should go to the bins. Like, stop pressuring me so much, man. I'll go to the bins one day, like, and you know what? The video, you're definitely gonna know, like, the day I go to the bins. It'll be blatantly obvious. This is a Travis Matthew golf pants. It sold for $14.21 plus shipping. So $23 on the Travis Matthew golf pants. That's an item I'd probably pay like $5 or $6 for, because I think it could do a little bit better than that. Let's see. Kami Collectibles. Is that like comic books? Kami Collectibles. Thanks for the live. This is my first one. I currently sell comics and miscellaneous. I should have read the rest of the comment before seeing that. On eBay. I'm in the process of pivoting to clothing business. Comics are fun, but not consistent enough. Funny enough about comics, when I first went full-time reselling, I did some searches and I found a comic book seller in my town. He started in 2003. He's like one of the biggest comic book sellers on eBay. And he's like, literally, I don't know, like his office space is like these little shotgun type offices, and he's very close to my house. And yeah, he has 2 women that do his photos, and he buys out collections. He does like the Pokemon card stuff too, and yeah, he is crushing it. But you know, he's paying 5 cents, maybe selling it for $4 or $6, something like that. So it's a much different game. He's got all his systems built out. It's very impressive. It's a very impressive system, and it seems like a pretty chill life. And you probably come across some really cool stuff if you're into that. So, but yeah, clothes are cool, man. It's just there's a lot of bad brands. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't sell in clothes, much like comics, I'm sure. Just gotta find the good stuff. Samantha says, thanks so much for the advice. I usually use all the photos, laugh out loud. Oh no, no. 24. It's up to 24. I hope you're not doing 24. Less photos could help with speed. Yeah, absolutely. Like the difference between 6 photos and 9 photos when you're photoing like 100 items a day, which Randy typically does, that's a lot of time. Trust me, it is a lot of time. So I used to have it on this back wall, but it was kind of ugly, so I took it down. But it was like the photos that I would have for an employee to take, and I think it was 9 photos on a button up. And that's because I take the cuff button photo and then the collar button, because I think people care about how many buttons are down here, but I think I could eliminate those too, honestly. I think I could. And I make her take the button here on a short sleeve polo to show if it's 1 button, 2 buttons, or 3, because I just don't want questions coming in. But maybe I could just stop taking those photos, and I bet you she could just, well, I know she would just go faster. So that's yeah, it's just testing, testing stuff out. This is a cinch long sleeve button shirt. It's the modern fit one. Those are a little bit different. I don't know about more expensive. It sold for 13 plus 9, so $22 on the cinch. My nose itches. The outside, not the inside. The outside. Let's see. Panda the Picker. How's it going? How's it going to you too? I'm honestly, I'm doing pretty good. I got my workout clothes on. After this, I'm going to hit the weights. I feel like one of the things I was overlooking was like warming up. Like I used to run all the time. I could just get out of the house and run. And now I did that and I actually hurt my calf like running. It just locked up. And it's because I didn't stretch. I didn't run. So I was watching this guy. He's much older than me. And he was talking about his diet and all this stuff. And he's got all the fancy powders and expensive. I mean, I looked into pricing that stuff. It's very expensive. But it's your body and your health, so maybe it's worth it. But anyway, he was going to go on a run, and he said he stretched and warmed up for 20 minutes of stretching and warming up. And I'm like, dude, my whole run's like 20 minutes. So it's me being lazy about it. So I'm definitely going to try to like limber up, do some high knees, maybe some butt kickers or some karaoke in the backyard with Ragnar chasing me around. And then I may go for a run. But it's too hot for that. That'll be like a morning time thing. But I think I'm just going to hit the straight up weights and try to, try to make some gains, as they say, because if I'm gonna take on the bins, I need to be a beefier dude. Like look at my frame, dude. It's not where it needs to be. It's not where it needs to be. Wrestling Fig says 2.6% conversion rate. Good. I'll look at mine. I don't know, man. I honestly, like, people look into those numbers and I really don't. Oh, and, okay, man, I'm glad you brought it up, though, because they were asking me about sell-through rate, and they were only 1 month in. That's the whole reason I did the topic for the video. And I told him, I said, look, you're 1 month in. I said, that number doesn't even, it probably wouldn't even be accurate. Like, you're building up your stuff, like, until you get to a point where you're, like, it could take a year before you should even, like, notice that. Just continue buying stuff that is selling and just keep buying it, and then get better at what you're doing with speed and everything, and, like, make sure everything's clean, and, like, not, like, turn it into a hoarder house. But yeah, he was all worried about sell-through, and I'm like, dude, don't worry about that at all. Just, like trust me, it's not that big a deal. Like, if the main thing I told him in the comment that I responded with was, did you guys hear that? It was an airplane. So if you have a little bit of space and you're buying items and you're about to fill up that space and you're not selling enough, like, stop buying and start trying to sell those, or stop, get rid of them somehow, and then buy stuff that you can, like, sell through in that space. That's more important than how fast it's selling. Like, if you have unlimited space, then just buy, but eventually, like, you need to understand, like, okay, I have 1,000 listed and only 200 sold. Like, to me, that's 20% sell through in 90 days is what it shows. So, like, but what if that $200 is making you a lot of money? So for me, when I went full time, it was all about, like, am I going to make enough money to pay my bills? Like, how much am I making a day, like, profit? So it was like I'd sell 300, and at that point I was margining a little higher than I am now, because I was selling, like, electronics and some other shoes and, like, higher ASP things. So, like, it'd be like, okay, I had 300 in sales, I made $150. That's 50% margins. And I was like, okay, that's good. And then I was like, but I am having a hard time sourcing hard goods, like, in the Dallas area. It was just like, you had to buy bigger stuff, you had to bring it back, test it, clean it. Like, the big hits where you spent 20 and then wanted to sell for 150 and it didn't work. It was like, that $20 is a lot, because you drove 2 hours to spend $20 on something that doesn't work, and then you got to throw it away and be all frustrated. So, like, I switched to clothes, and then when I switched to clothes, if I sold $300, I'd only be making $100 profit, or $89 or $90. Like, so a lot of it came down to, like, how much am I selling every day? Oh, look, I'm selling 100, 300, 500, now 500 every single day. That's pretty consistent, right? Like, because I'm bringing in the same stuff, 500. Oh, today, like, yesterday was $900. But then the other day was like 460, So don't, like, focus too much on, oh, I need to sell this faster. Is this percentage good? Like, all these people are talking about this. Like, just identify, like, the space you have. Identify, like, where you can find stuff. And then, like, figure out, like, okay, I enjoy doing this, or, like, this is giving me a headache every time I sell a VCR because it comes back broken. I used to sell those and they would steal the faceplates off and send back the VCR. And I'm like, dude, what the heck? And, like, eBay's like, dude, you better give them all that money back. I'm like, eBay, no, they scammed me. And they're just like, no, they didn't. They're our buyers. Like, we don't need you. We need them. So it's, yeah, just don't get too hung up on it, man. I mean, there's a time where that may make sense, but most people within the first year or two, even, I mean, just depends on what you're trying to build, but I don't think it really makes much sense at all. Like, here's an Abercrombie & Fitch short sleeve polo, striped, and it's actually a size small, sold for $21. So that's pretty solid. Dang. Abercrombie & Fitch. I remember, like, growing up, that was like, if you were like between the ages of 10 and 14 and you had Abercrombie on, you were a cool dude. I had the JCPenney stuff. Let's go to the chat. It looks like we're at 68 people, 37 likes. Still sitting pretty strong. Privacy says unlisted still. See, there's just a weird thing about how the stream is. I don't get it. I'll figure it out one day, but it's not today. It's not today. But let me look. I told you I would tell you my percentage of sales conversion. Let's just see, man. I really don't know. Let's take a little look-see. And I got a new curved monitor, a 24-inch Septray curved monitor, and I'm loving it. Like the McDonald's stuff. Like, I am I'm loving it. All right, let's go to the sales. Where's that under? Sales? Performance, sales, conversion rate. Come on, it's not there. Let me know where it's at so I can find it. Is it, I'm just going to go to summary. Here we go. Yeah, sales conversion rate. Mine is 1.9%. And that's for the last Oh, that's for the last 30 days, I think. Last 30 days. Last 30 days. Yeah. It says quantity sold divided by the total page views, including both. See, and that stuff's even more ridiculous because I get so many views from viewers. Like, a lot of people just stock the store, the looky-loos, the window shoppers, the view, what is it called? The impression pirates. Is that what you call them? They're just, they're coming by. Yeah, so I don't know, man. 2.6 is good. Yeah, I guess it's good. I think so. It's better than mine. Jamie says the bins can be a big hassle, and there's probably more competition for lower quality items in my opinion. See, that's where I don't think that would be the case. I think the competition would be for the, like, well, maybe. I think it'd be for more of the good stuff, right? But, like, I have a strength in knowing what lower quality stuff can bring in, you know, like mid-tier to low-tier brands. When you say ship, do you mean cost of items plus shipping? Absolutely, Jason. I run $8.99 for shipping on all items, tank tops to boots to whatever. I don't really buy boots, but you know. So I say 9 because pennies are losing its place in society. So let's just say $9. And yeah, so like 19 shipped, that's $10 plus $9 shipping is a pretty common one. This one, example, like, it's an Under Armour fitted cold gear. It's sold for like $18.50 shipped. So, you know, paying like $4 on that, not so great, but that's like an every week, every month seller. Like, I mean, every day seller. Like, that stuff's gonna sell. So, just depends if it's worth it, you know. I don't know how much time it takes. I think it was like, let's say 1 minute and 15 seconds to list. And then to pull and pack, let's just say 30 seconds to pull and pack if you're not running a live stream on YouTube. And then, yeah, I mean, is that worth like $6, whatever? Oh, and then buying it, of course, you got to factor in the buy and then the gas money. But I drive a Honda Civic, so we're kind of, you know, chilling there with gas. The F-150 was nice, but geez, man, like $100 a tank every week, guaranteed. Yeah. Panda the Picker says, yee, the bins is crazy fighting and pushing elbows. That's why I'm trying to build up my body so I can go there and just, honestly, no, I would just kind of like find the strongest dude in there and I would be like, dude, can I like hide behind you or under your arm and then pick like next to you? And what I would do too is I'd probably like, if I found like a vintage tee or something I knew one of the vintage guys would go for, I would see who was like one of the main dudes and I would like do it as a peace offering. I'd be like, hey, I found this shirt. I'm not, you know, I don't sell this stuff. I sell mainly this. Here you go. Just, you know, why not? If you're in, you know, someone's area, someone's turf, you got to do that kind of stuff. I just don't want to waste my time doing it right now. I don't know. Maybe it'd be a fun video, but I don't know. Do you mix in a lot of t-shirts with your inventory? I've been trying to figure out Tech's brain on t-shirts, side of clothing, but I'm lost. Any thoughts on what to look for? I would suggest not trying to figure out Tech's brain because I don't think it's very figurable. I mean, I think it's a different mindset. And as far as t-shirts go, no, I'm terrible. I'm really terrible at them. If you want to go for vintage, I know this the collar is going to be way thicker. The cotton's thicker, single stitch obviously, but big sizes always do pretty well, but they typically have stains on them. Like this type of shirt, this Under Armour, if you found it for 80 cents, you know, or whatever the cost would be, I guess 80 cents maybe, at the bins, you would probably sell it for $10, like including shipping, like everything all in, $10 for like this plain medium, like one little graphic. There's nothing even on the back. So yeah, it's I don't know. Not the guy. Not the guy. David says, bin's not as bad as you think. Majority of what you're looking for and others are not. Yeah, okay, maybe. I mean, there you go. Maybe that's the thing. Jamie says traffic. Panda says traffic. All right, so let's think of a name of like a thief. Traffic thief? Or how about traffic bandit? So people who steal traffic bandits. The traffic bandits. This one's a cool one. This is called Barbarian. It's a long... Well, first off, just look at it. If you see something with this big a block, color blocking, you might want to look at it. Also, this cotton is extremely thick. Here's the tag. Okay, it's Barbarian. Sorry if you didn't get a good look. This is a, it's made in Australia. No, wait, is it? No, it's made in Canada. It's made in Canada. But, yeah, this one sold for $31 plus $9 shipping. And I did sit on it for a little bit. So, it's over a pound, figures, because it's a heavy, thick, rugby, long sleeve striped, Harry Potter vibing type of shirt right there. And it's going to have to go in a flat rate envelope. So let's just pack her up. Biscuit Butt in the chat says, Sean, what the dilly, yo? What the dilly is right, man. We're shipping items. We've got a lot more to go. I have not been going very fast. Let's just take a look. And that pile needs to be processed. Yeah. We're making it. I mean, we're making it. My wife and son are at my wife's grandpa's, so my son's great-grandpa's house. They're hanging out. And yeah, we're chilling. I need to get going, though, because I really need to work out. Eventually. Panda the Picker says yours is at 1.8. Talking about conversion, sales conversion rate. That's good, I guess. I mean, what's like 100%? Wrestler, yeah, Seller Hub, yeah, I found it. Miss Lachey says, the longer I've sold on eBay, the more focus with sell-through rate. That's a pretty good take, for sure. Wish I had learned from the beginning, the quicker items sell, the quicker I get my investment to rinse and repeat. Yeah, he was kind of saying, is my store sell-through rate good? And I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, if the items you're buying have like a certain sell-through rate, your store will have similar sell-through rate as the item you're buying. That is kind of the way it is, I think. I don't know. I just don't concern myself with it as much. Like, seems like a lot of people love looking at the data, and I'm not. Somebody mentioned I was a numbers guy because in the last video I mentioned like certain numbers and stuff, and I'm not. I truly am not like that into the numbers. I'm not really into it. I just like seeing the accounts grow. I like finding ways to make more money doing the same thing I'm already doing, like applying a business credit card to get 3% cash back on shipping labels or 4%, because when you're spending so much in shipping labels, like it's a significant amount of money. This is a Ralph Lauren linen chino shorts. Polo Ralph Lauren linen chino short size 42 sold for $24. Pretty good. So yeah, that might be an item you find at the bins. A big giant pair of shorts that are linen. Let's see. David says bins people are grabbing the easy low-hanging fruit, not the good bread and butter stuff. Interesting. Yeah. What would you suggest, the Dallas bins or the Fort Worth bins? Sup, dweeb? It's Mike from DFW, grinding as usual. Welcome in, Mike. 89098. Glad to have you in, brother. Hey, brother. I knew a guy who used to do that. He'd be like, hey, brother. Welcome in. Yeah, dude, I had a lot of sales, man. We're going pretty slow, but we are done with the first box. You guys could follow Mike's lead. Mike is a powerhouse seller, dude. Doing a lot better than I. But best to be, what is it? You keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. But no, yeah, it's good to be around people that are doing the same thing you're doing, because this is a pair of Lululemon shorts. Now, Lululemon is being priced up quite a bit at the thrift, but there are plenty of times that they miss Lululemon. So Randy, my employee, is having a hard time identifying where the circle is in like the size, and it has like the model, because some of them they don't have them anymore. I don't know if the wash takes them out. Inside the t-shirts, they have like under the band of the bottom of the shirt, that'll have the size and like a little quote or some crap. It'll say like wear forever, or like, I don't know, like last long time. I'm not sure. But anyway, this sold for $26 plus $9. So $35 on the Lululemon shorts, size small in like a mint green color. It's actually like the same color as this bag from Jiaropack. Throw a little ad in there. Yeah, Mike, I mentioned to the chat that you were the guy. I was like, my friend Mike bought 5,000 bags from Jiaropack. So follow his lead and have bags forever. Although you can only get the white ones, I think, into the 5,000 pack. They don't have all the colored ones like that. I may even renegotiate with Jiaropack. Be like, Jiaropack, I want some more royal blues. What can we do, man? How can we make this happen? Royal blue is by far my favorite of Jiaropacks. This right here is a close-up. This is ex officio. I've been on the fence about ex officio. One, because I used to call it ex officino, which I don't think that's right. I don't think they created their brand. But that one sold for 20 bucks. So ex officio for 20 bucks, I don't know. Usually that thing gets, it falls. The price will fall. People don't pick that stuff up very often, so. Jamie says, where I live, there's 75 people in line, open every day at the bins. We have 3 bins? Holy tamale. That's crazy. You need to show up with 76 people of your own and then just have an army of people go battle those people. That would make sense. No, I mean, that's crazy. And that's, they're there for a reason, right? Like, they're making their living. They're flea market folk, resellers. Maybe they're taking it to another country. We have a lot of people who buy and travel to Mexico and have stores in Mexico. That's a thing. An arbitrage, an American arbitrage. That's funny. American clothing arbitrage. Yeah. David says they really only fight for shoes, but you're shoe shop merchant, so that means you're one of the ones fighting. Then it's we really only fight for shoes. I see, David. I see. And that's how it is at our Goodwill. David goes to the same Goodwill that I go to. And, man, it's gone so downhill, dude. So downhill. Here's another shirt. We sold a lot of shirts, folks. This is a break even. A lot of times, if I buy a shirt and there's a flaw on it, I will take any offer that comes in. Unless, obviously, it's a high-value item that can sell with the flaw. Like a vintage or a CC Filson, something like that, It's got a flaw, no big deal. But, yeah, if it's a common item with a flaw, take whatever offer, move on. Understand that you missed the flaw. Shame. Eat the waste of time that you just did, but understand that it did sell, though. That's the most important thing, though. It did sell. You didn't have to, completely discard the item. So, let's see. What do we got here, folks? We've got Kame Collectible says, if you do a lot of driving, remember to track your miles. It can turn into a significant write-off during tax time. That is absolutely correct. I think I had 22,000 miles last year driven, so 67 cents a mile. Or no, is it 62.5 cents, I think, is what they bumped it to? Yeah, it's probably the biggest write-off, actually. Maybe. Shipping label's pretty high, too. Yeah, I don't know. I do pay for professional help when it comes to taxes. I'm not slick. I don't know. I want to make sure it's done right, and I don't want to have to deal with it. This is a tobacco brand, not like the chew tobacco. It's tobacco moto wear. The plaid, this is, I think, considered buffalo print plaid. It's like that iconic black and red plaid. A lot of people buy this, even in other brands, just because the wives we're doing this photo for the holidays, and you have to have this. So they'll buy it based on that print alone. But this one sold for 30 bucks. It's 29 bucks to be exact. But yeah, first time finding it. I found 3 of them in a row too, all for $3.50 a piece. The other one sold for a little more, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Man, this is 13 ounces. That's pretty good. Ground Advantage, 13 ounces. My son, he's crawling now. He's 8.5 months. Dude, it's like you put him in the living room where all his toys are, and then you go get a glass of water, and you turn around and you just see this guy and I'm just like, dude, chill out, man. And he's just like, it's almost like a little zombie baby. No matter where you turn, you just see this guy coming at you. And I mean, babies are ruthless too. They just poop themselves and keep on going. And I'm like, dude, you just they're and think about it. They sleep with no blankets, no pillows in the early on. I I couldn't sleep with no blanket or no pillow. I don't care how tough you think you are. Like, babies are just like, oh, like, they just knock out and sleep. That's it, you know. They are, what is it, like when you say they send it, like go ahead and send it, babies send it, you know, no fear. Here's a pair of REI cargo shorts. This sold for $22 shipped, 13 plus 9 REI cargo shorts. A pretty common pickup. I usually don't even question these. REI Prana, some of that hiking stuff, it's just like, it's just there. The money's going to be there. At least the range that I'm in, it's absolutely there. So let's see. We have 66 viewers, 46 likes. Very cool. Very cool. And interesting, though. Let me go back, dude. Let me go back real quick. Huh. It's weird. I don't know. Like, I don't know. So, like, YouTube has its own live, like, thing. And then this is OBS that I'm looking at the chat with and stuff. And honestly, OBS, you can do, like, borders and, like, really cool things. So, I don't know if you got to pay for that stuff. But I want to look into making, like, this stream more of a, like, you're coming into, like say you go into a store, like a vibe, like a club or just something, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's tropical things going on, or like maybe, like I think I would want mine to be probably like basic colors with bear stuff though. I'd want it more like a, I don't know, like a man cave in a way, I guess would be cool. Something like that. Might be kind of neat. There's a lot of things you can do. I don't spend the time to do it. I really like trying to make things better and make like more money doing things, which is what I'm into, man. Panda's talking to the David, the shop merchant. He says it's crazy for shoes like here it's World War III. I think the only way to get 100% conversion rate would be only if you sell TI 84 plus calculators. Yeah, and hey, school's coming back, so if you guys are looking into that type of stuff, take advantage of like the supplies people are going to use for school. Which, speaking of that, like I need to think about that too for like the shoppable videos. Like I need to start doing like folders and spirals and things like that, because people are going to click on the video, watch it, and then buy all their school supplies. Okay, here's a pretty interesting one. The reason I say this one's pretty interesting is because I got the item for free. I not really partner, but like I talked to most of the consignment stores in town, the women's consignment. And what they do is they buy women's clothes and then they consign it, you know, the whole deal. Now, they don't buy all of it and they don't consign all of it. Some of the stuff just isn't that good. Those are a pair of Yogalicious leggings. And the way it worked was I met up at the consignment store with the family who they had a bunch of men's clothes, and a bunch of it was, I wouldn't pay like even $1 for any of it. But the guy was like, well, hey man, I mean, it's fine. He goes, can you just take it to the thrift store? We're not even from this town. He goes, we're just doing some shopping and stuff and then leaving. And then the woman said, and I got 2 tubs that they didn't even want if you want to take it. And I said, yeah, fine. I said, some of the stuff though I could sell, I just can't like pay you for it because it's like literally low money. Well, this one actually sold for like okay money. It was $11.72 plus $8.99 shipping. So you're talking $20 on a free item. And that brings me to my point of like, Yogalicious isn't like Lululemon. I mean, a lot of people they're not going to look for this stuff. So if you're buying pallets or you're buying like, you have some type of thing where you're picking up donations or you're paying for a big lot and you're getting for 5 to 20 cents, like these are the type of brands that do exist that will sell. Now it did take a while to sell this, but nonetheless, that's a really good profit on an item you got for free. So if you are looking into volume, there is a way to do it in that model, but the sell-through rate again is going to be like really slow on those, but the money is there. It's absolutely there. Let's pack it up, man. Let's pack it up. Pack it up. Samantha says, I heard you say something like you were number 10 in men's shorts on eBay or something like that. Where do you see that info? No, not number 10. I'm number 27 in casual button downs. You can go to view listing report, and then it's like a CSV file. It's like an Excel file. So if you don't have Excel on your computer, I don't know if it'll populate. Probably not. But yeah, you do that listing report, and then it shows all the categories you sell in, and it tries to give you advice on how to improve it. But it'll show you like number, I don't know, like 10,000 out of this, or it'll be like 800 out of this. And then like as I've noticed, and it's based on gross sales in that category. So it's not like I'm the best at that, like getting the most money, but I am selling a lot of money in that. You know what I'm saying? So Mike, the guy that was just in the chat, he's actually higher than me in that category. So kind of goes to show his level of selling. Biscuit Butt says the only data that matters are sales. Yes. Margins, terrible. Sales, yes. Only thing that matters is sales. Yeah, I mean, that's typically the goal, though, right? You buy it, you sell it, you move on, you make the money and go. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, an item sell-through rate, your store sales conversion rate is calculated different. For sure. No, the sales conversion rate is based on views and sales, but like the sell-through rate of your store would be similar to your, like, you know, mine's like twice the items listed as sold. It's like 4,800 listed with like 2,700 sold. So if I looked up that data on eBay, it'd be like, oh, well, Sean's store is a 50% sell-through rate store. So most, you know, it takes 6 months for like that many items to sell or whatever, 5,200. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying none of that stuff really matters unless it's like one of the furthest things you should be focused on if you just start, I guess is what I'm saying. I think itemizing everything is good in the beginning. You go to a garage sale, you buy a, I don't know, like a keyboard or something, an Apple keyboard, and you're like, oh, I paid $1. Like, what did it sell for? How much did the profit come? You can use that eBay sales calculator.com or whatever and do that. This is a long sleeve crew neck shirt, Carhartt, sold for 19 or 17, something like that. A lot of like t-shirts, crew necks, I'm paying less than $3 for sure, mainly like $2 on them. I really don't like paying $4 and $5 for that kind of stuff. Swope, what's up, man? Yo. Happy to have you in, dude. Happy to have you in. Swope came in hard on that last video. He was like, no, heck no, dude. Let me tell you how it is. I was very appreciative of everyone that commented. It kind of took up a lot of time to respond to them. I mean, now when people say like I don't have time to respond, like the bigger channels, like yeah, I get it, dude. Because I'm trying to put like thorough. I'm not trying to say like thanks or like great or something. I'm trying to say like, oh, I'm hearing what you're saying and thinking about it and giving an answer. But yeah, you definitely run out of time doing that. I was able to get caught up on it though. But yeah, Swope was he's a trooper. Tim says, hold on. Hang a second. He says, so you're using a business card for shipping labels rather than using eBay shipping? Yes, that's absolutely right. Like, think about it. Why did eBay want you to take funds from yourself? It's because they didn't want to deal with like the processing, right? Like of getting the payment from somebody else. I don't know who pays on that end. I'm not really sure. But yeah, there was a reason that they switched from that, right? So if you go back and try to just put in a credit card, all your labels will get credit card points. So like we've sold like $130,000 in items this year, but like shipping labels, because I'm doing volume, low profit, like the label, that's a huge expense. And then you can write that off. I mean, everyone can write it off, but like you write it off, but you get the credit card points. But then the business credit cards, you get more than 1.5% or 2%. Like you can get 3% and even 4% if you get the Amex Gold card, which, Mike, I texted you about the Amex Gold card, and I was wondering why you said you didn't go with that one. Is it because it was $295 a year? Because that one is pretty solid. Michael says cheapest deal currently, so not sure what you were referring to. Cheapest deal currently. Yeah, not sure what Mike was talking about, but David says, I like Fort Worth bins, but have done well at the Dallas. OKC bins are great too. They have 2 bins. Houston has 3 bins and like 10 standard Goodwill stores. Yeah. Very cool. All right, well. Here's a PFG shirt. This one definitely had a mark on it, so we're looking at $14 with a stain on the PFG. Not very good. Probably paid $3 for this one because I don't really pay $5 for them that much. And yeah, not good. But some of that stuff does sell with stains, like for a little more than that. I've seen in the past. This one's not the best color either. It's like that coral red. I don't think it's a good one. Simply Dana, what's up? Hey, Sean. Hey, all. Happy to have you in. I haven't seen you in a long time. Haven't seen you. Net Business says, hi, Taylor. At what percentage do you promote? net business for you and for everyone listening live and on the replay. I'm mixing up my words because I get this question a lot. I get it a lot. I promote 0%. I do not promote the listings. I'm okay not doing it. I do well enough. Mike, the guy in the chat, he does 4 times the impressions that I get. He has a smaller store with a higher sell-through rate and a higher average sale price. It's a different model. He promotes a lot, but guess what? He pays a lot for that promotions. So I promote 0 because I'm very cheap and I'm running cheap margins. Like, I have the space and like I'm okay waiting. Like, I like how I'm building this. And anytime you run, like, say I experimented with different sales, coupons, like different things like that. I didn't experiment with promoted just because I don't know, man. I just don't know. I'm not sure. I'm doing pretty good without it. So Anthony was laughing at my son crawling around. You got 3 kids, man? I definitely want a sibling for Seth. I don't know if I want a third. Honestly, we would need more house for sure. And then we would need, I mean, it gets expensive, right? Uh-oh, did I grab the wrong item? Oh, man, let me see. Yeah, I grabbed 1,000 or 16,790 instead of 16,6. Oh my God, no. Oh, no, that's not right. There we go. Okay, yeah. So sales come in as I'm shipping. I've already had some. So every time it refreshes when I do the back button to get back to the sales, I had a new item pop in, which was right next to where this one is. This is a Ralph Lauren. It's a long sleeve black collared shirt, and this was the Soft Touch, Pima Soft Touch 2XL, sold for $24 on that one. It's pretty good. It says you don't have to pay for OBS overlays and stuff. Excellent. I need to look into that. Unless you want to customize it more. Yeah, no, I'd probably just go with whatever they have for free. David says yes. You really still pressed on the 70K? I agree with Commonwealth. What part do you agree with Commonwealth? 70K with the 250 something thousand is bad. I would say if you sold $1 million worth of stuff and you netted 70K, that's good. As long as it was still the same time frame. Because then think of all the credit card money you would get with that, you know, the points and stuff. So I don't know. Not to mention like the other stuff that comes along with it. Kevin hasn't come out of the shed since that video. Biscuit butt, easy, buddy, easy. He's an all right dude, all right? He's not a bad dude. I'm not saying this to like I can't stand him. I'm saying it because I had such a high being shouted out from Dave that like Kevin kind of like wanted to say, oh yeah, this guy's doing, the guy that likes you, he's doing terrible. That's terrible. No, dude, it's not terrible. It's really not. It's just different. It's different. It's just different, man. It's a different mindset looking at business too. I mean, think about Walmart. They make like 50 cents for a $20 sale. So are they doing terrible? I mean, I know I'm not Walmart, but I'm just saying like the way averages work with that, it's different. I don't want to be stuck on it too long. Commonwealth talks a lot and he thinks he knows it all. Everyone on the podcast don't like him. Oh, come on. I don't know about that. The podcast grew a lot because of him. They brought him on because they enjoy, you know, talking with him. Mike says, yeah, I didn't respond. Oh, yearly cost is double. Oh, you're talking about the poly mailers. Yeah. So Mike bought the 5,000 poly mailers because he's a high volume seller like myself. And he said it's the cheapest current deal around because you get Taylor 10% off. We're talking about Jiaropack if you guys are new, didn't know. Okay, Amex and Chase rewards are virtually the same. Amex, you get 4x returns. That's in cashback rewards. But Chase, it's basically 4.5 if you use the money towards flights and hotels. Yeah, so let's say you didn't, though. And yeah, the difference is the yearly cost. And it's only up to $150,000 in that business category, which that is kind of tough to do on labels. But I wouldn't be using it for flights and hotels, I don't think. But yeah, okay, I get it. I mean, and then the other thing is the Chase card that's $95 a year. You get $1,000 bonus cash spending $15K, and then the one Amex one you get, I think it was $750 spending whatever amount they have, and you still got to pay the $295. So yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. And then having one login with the one card, but I like to cycle credit cards to get the bonus cash, and I think it's cool. Okay, I think it's about taking all the time to do 250K if you're only profiting a third. A lot of people in reselling don't have 30% margins and they're working 40 hours a week. Walmart's 3%. No, because Walmart is doing things at scale. They sell 20-cent profit items. Going to sell. Oh, here we go. Getting into some numbers. Yeah, okay. I heard from Daily Refinements about the Walmart stat. I'm going to say it. He said $20 they get 50 cents, but yeah, that does seem a little low. If you don't use it towards flights, then Chase, it's just 3% cash back. If you're selling, here we go. Eric says if you're selling 250,000, you should at least be making 100K profit. With a yearly fee, that is $200 more. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Mike. So yeah, maybe that is the reason why it's not as good. Should honestly be at 125K, but 70 is still low. So Eric is in the camp of you need to be making 50% profit margins. So I would just challenge it as like, if you're just working 50 hours a week or whatever, like a person, and you're making the 70K but selling 250, like, okay, okay. So, it doesn't add in like I'm talking with Mike on the side here about credit cards and stuff. So you're getting points by spending money. So spending more, having higher sales, like you're spending more, getting money on that. But why is it, Eric says, I agree. Oh, Mike agrees with Eric, but that's only if you're in a major city. See, I still disagree. Like Amazon sellers that sell $1 million a year, they may only make 10% margins at 100,000. They're not working any longer than anybody else. So like, why would that be a terrible margin? Like if it's the same amount of work, like if someone is working for you or whatever, but it's like, I don't understand. I don't know. No disrespect at all. Yeah, I don't want to get upset about it or like fire myself up just because I'm talking about it. I just don't get how that's the mentality of it. Like who wrote the book on reselling stuff that should be 50% or more? Like it's insane. I mean, tons of businesses don't make 50% profits. Like, yeah, dude, I don't know. You're saying no disrespect, effort only being 30% margins. You got to see where he's coming from. Not really. Because if I was selling part-time, just hard goods, just high-end stuff, like I could be 50% margins. But if I want to sell like, let's say I sold $500,000 a year and I profited 25% or whatever, like that'd be way more money. But you'd be like, oh, that's terrible, dude. At 500,000, you need to be making 250,000. That's insane, dude. It's just absolutely insanity. Anyway, but yeah, location's a big deal. I don't think he understands that I have to drive so far to source. Like, Michael is in the big city, and he has much higher profit margins, but it's just a different game, man. I don't know. I feel like you're still winning, like you're a net positive for the reselling, like, and just overall. I don't really like the shade thrown. Yeah, and Mike, and look at Mike's got a friend named Jared who like has a completely different model too. It's just like a whole thing about how, I don't know. I don't really want to get into it. It's just crazy. Eric says they're drop shipping, and then they typically have little to no buy cost when they're making a slim margin. Eric's talking about Amazon sellers have no buy cost when making a slim margin. Dude, Amazon sellers may spend way more money to make that. Like, I don't know if you're seeing it the same way I am. But Amazon people may take, 30 hours to like research the item, to go full in on it. And then they may need to spend $10,000, $20,000 for that one item to make like 10% margins. Exactly. So, Anthony says 70K, people working overtime hours and jobs don't even bring 50K. Yeah. The point, of course, is keep it as much profit as possible, but everyone has different path. Michael's friend Jared has 25% margins, which is the same as mine, but he's selling $1.5 million a year. Exactly. So, like, I mean, it's, and he's got a whole team. Like, it's just a whole thing. I'm sorry, Eric. Eric, man, totally wrong. Sourcing time on Amazon. I sell on Amazon. I spend more time sourcing on Amazon than eBay. I use multiple softwares. Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's a whole thing. That's why I made the video, though. It's why I made the video, and it's why it hit so many people's like kind of nerves. They're just like, wait a minute, like, and I misread it. I thought he said 70K was a bad income. He meant the margins, which I still think is a bad argument. I honestly do. I do think it's a bad argument. But yeah, isn't it crazy though? It's just like, I think it's because I do work pretty hard like for that, and I am proud of it, you know. I don't care, like, you know, if he works 20 hours a week and makes 55K, like how, I mean, come on, dude. Like, I feel like I've watched episodes where he was still figuring out like his numbers and stuff, which is hard to keep track of, no doubt. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Jared Dolan says, do you sell on Poshmark also? I tried for 4 days. I tried a listing software. A company reached out wanting me to help their product, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It was taking 20 seconds. Like, it took 15 seconds to cross-list on the desktop, and on the phone it was taking like 25, 30 seconds, depending on if I could see the size. But it just didn't seem like that extra traffic would really be that worth it, and the shipping was a major negative. The shipping thing on Poshmark is kind of, it's not beneficial unless you're doing, I think, heavier items, like shoes or something. This is a Frank and Eileen, though. This is a button-up. This one went for $30.68 plus $8.99, so definitely a good one to find. Frank and Eileen. I've sold it a lot. It always sells really well. Let's see. Say Bree says, I only buy if it's at least 300% profit, but I'm not big time like these YouTube sellers. Not sure if you guys are only talking about Amazon sellers. Yeah, and the 300% profit is great, right? The thing about it is when you want to sell like thousands and thousands of items or make like a bunch of money, like it gets hard to find those like high flip items. Like it just is. There's only so many of them, and most people are looking for them. So it's what you have access to and what you're able to get. And like, that's why Mike made that comment about being in a big city. A big city has tons of advantages. You can go to thrift stores every day and be the first one in a couple stores every single day if you really wanted to. In my town, like, there's only 3 stores that get restocked once. They get wiped out whenever I go there for the most part, and then with everybody else that goes there. And then I have to go to other stores, and then I have to commute and all that stuff. So it's just it's a different thing. I don't get it. It's like if I came back on this live in like 2 or 3 years and I've really built things out, and like I said before, like maybe I sold let's just say I sold $400,000 worth of stuff working the same time, and then I made $100,000. Like, would you be like, oh, that's terrible, you need to be making more? Or it's like, okay, I mean, I guess you don't want the money, like the net. It's just it's a different thing, man. But it's hard to do. It's very hard to do. At least with the brain that I have, like, I haven't been able to find like a much easier path. There's a couple things I'm thinking about, but I still it takes a lot to build stuff like that. Relationships with sources and different things. Here is a Ralph Lauren. This one's actually really cool. I'll kind of show it. Bam. It's got all this stuff on it. Polo Ralph Lauren. This one went for $50. I had it for like $60 and someone sent an offer and I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'll take it. Let's see. Inglewood Deal says, and at the end of the day, it's what works for you. Business is successful. Regardless, people will get stuck in the mindset of making, to make as much as possible, and that's fine. But yeah, and it's, trust me, if I'm not saying 50% margins is bad, or like, I'm just saying, like, I don't know how many people sell $250,000 worth of stuff and make the 50%. Like, Mike might do it, but there's very few people that I think are able to do that. I do, especially everything sellers. And that's why I should message Osborne to Thrift and be like, hey, can you email me your profit and loss report so I can like look at your numbers? Because I saw his 90 or 100,000 one time a couple years ago, or like, yeah. So like he might be doing it. Yeah, Swoop's talking about shipping and fees, 25%. Yeah, my shipping percentage is pretty high. Mr. Say says, my issue is a lot of critics aren't doing well but criticize others. That's fair. Sabri says, that's the critique game, Lachey. At the end of the day, if you're making a living reselling, it doesn't matter what anyone else says about it. Yeah, we need a boxing match. Panda Picker, Jesus, man. 28% margins on any business is fire end of the day. Yeah. If someone has never made 100K a year reselling, then they have zero room to talk on how easy or hard it is to make 100K reselling. Now, that's a good point. So I was thinking... I was trying to think back before I went full time. Like when I was part time, I was making 30,000 on 15-hour work weeks, reselling like hard goods. And I think if I would have stayed in that path, I probably would have done close to 50,000 in the part time, working my full time job, just doing yard sales, estate sales, talking to people, Facebook deals. Like, yeah, I think that's possible. But if I were to say, quit the job, go full time, like, I just don't think that would be there. Like, I was sucking up a lot of my town's good resources and stuff. So, like, to say, like, oh, I mean, if I was full-time, I could be getting 100K. Like, I just don't. I think it's way different to go from 50 to 75 to 100. It's just very different. People say it's easy, but then Mike said, you haven't done it. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's like bench pressing is not a good example, but it kind of is. If you've never benched 225 pounds, even if you can bench 205 like 6 times or 5 or 6 times, you should hit 225 once. But there's like a mentality thing when you're under the two big plates that it's different. And Swope, don't come in here saying that it's easy because I don't want to hear it. But what I'm saying is it's just a different thing. And that's maybe not the best analogy, but I'm trying to bench 225 again. I'm trying. I'm not there. I used to be there, but I'm not there. So I am working on it. I just don't want to be a heavier guy and have to do it because you can gain weight and do it a little easier. 81 concurrent viewers, 50 likes. This is the most people been in for a while, so it's obviously working, or there's just nothing going on in YouTube land, and people are like, oh, this guy's got the live button on. Let's just go see what's happening. This right here is a little, it's, okay, what do you guys call this shirt? I'll pull it out. Because this is an interesting topic too. This is a Polo Ralph Lauren. Is it a white tank top or is it a wife beater? White beater or wife beater? You let me know, because I don't know. I talked to my friend Brian about this. We were both a little confused on what these are called, because it's one of those things that like it's stuck in everyone's head a certain way because everyone's called it a certain way, and then it's actually like, I don't know, what is it called? But yeah, this one, I picked all these up for, I think it was $1 a piece. And this one sold for, it was $4.74 plus 9, so $13.75 on $1 item. Not good. But I thought somebody was going to buy all of them. I thought there was 5 or 6 of them. I thought they'd buy all of them, and this dude just bought the one. So what could happen is he buys the one, sees that he likes it, and then makes an offer on the all of them. That's kind of what it would be. Okay, let's go back up, man. I don't want to get too lost on me just talking about randomness. Let's see. Biscuit Butt says, my comment about sales being the only data that matters, that's pertaining to eBay data. But our margins, I said margins absolutely matter. The goal should always be to increase your dollar per hour, and that's with margins. Not necessarily. Jared Dolan says, dude, I just got 90 for a Frank and Eileen women's blouse. I need more Frank and Eileen. Yeah, that's crazy. This was a button up though. But yeah, that's Frank and Eileen is and it stinks because some of the cheaper brands copied their style. So like you might be able to see like the same text kind of stuff. But yeah, Frank and Eileen is fire. It kind of reminds me of Ryan Michaels for some reason. And that one's a really good one too. If you guys ever see Ryan Michaels. They're like button-ups and stuff, or pearl snaps. What do we got here? This one's an Alan Flusser. Look at those stripes, though. This one sold... It's 100% linen, though. Or at least it's a linen blend. I know that for sure. Yeah, no, 100% linen, and it sold for $20. So, like, okay... Do I like picking up Alan Flusser linen shirts? No. Would I rather just pick up Frank and Eileen? Yes. Am I able to find a bunch of Frank and Eileen to make like that kind of money? Like, no. But like I am a bit not snobby, but a bit like maybe posh is the word. Like I'm not selling vacuum cleaners. You know, Rainbow vacuum cleaner came up across my lap. Like, would I spend $20 on it, clean it up, and sell it? Like, no. I don't care if it sells for $1,000. Like, I just don't want to deal with that. I mean, it really don't. And it sounds crazy to say that, but it's not what I'm into, man. I'm just not into it. So, Yosef, welcome in, buddy. I was wondering if you were coming in. Yosef was asking about some like private help, like paying for help, and I didn't get back to you, man. I'm sorry. I don't know. There's still something about Discord that I'm trying to work on, and I honestly don't have time, man. I run my eBay business, the buy sell trade store, a part-time employee, the YouTube channel, my Amazon influencer business, and I have an 8-month-old son. So, and a wife. Like, it's just hard to go spend like an hour, you know. It's very hard, man. I apologize. You said you're trying to sell on Mercari now. That's a good way to get into it. Michael says I'm at 40%, but I would be at 50% if I didn't promote. Maybe, but maybe you wouldn't get the sales if you didn't promote, you know. But you can see how much you sell based on promotion, so I could be wrong there. But yeah, that's kind of what I would think. You might get less sales. But maybe not, dude. I told you stop promoting. Like, you have good items. That's the thing. I don't know why you chose to promote. Unless you were trying to just speed up sales. That's why, like, it'd be interested to see if you stopped for like 3 months or 6 months. But you mentioned you stopped and your sales kind of stopped a little bit. So who knows, man? It's a yin and a yang. It's like those, what's that little thing? The scales of, not time. Is it scales? Like the law scales, you know? They're like this. And you see it. It's like an iconic look. I almost used that as like a logo choice when I was thinking of logos. Yeah. I actually used ChatGPT to figure out the handshake. I said, what's something that represents... I think business or like, and then I don't even think business was the word. I think it was like trade. What's a sign of trade, like good trade? And then handshake is what came up, and then I found that logo. And then Taylor exchanges the business, and then I picked Coca-Cola Red and Facebook Blue for the colors because those are two powerful brands. Unless you want to go meta, like the Meta Blue. I don't know. But yeah, that's how I picked that. If you guys probably were wondering, I'm sure. All right, Tori Richard, this is from the Big Lot, and this is exactly why I got that office building, because I paid $600 for 92 items, and 2 of them were, out of that $600, $150 went towards 2 vintage Levi denim jackets, and those sold for a total of $310, and I paid $100, $150 for each of them respectively, and then the rest, it was 82 like just Hawaiian shirts. And then like I think 8 more shirts totaled like $300 in sales. So like all that other 80 some items were just zero cost of goods, and it was all in one fell swoop. Made the video on it. A lot of people didn't watch it, but it's because it wasn't like, it's hard to make it entertaining, man. Like I need to like hit the marks better about attention and like what needs to be said and what doesn't, you know, and speed. There's a lot of tempo stuff, and then you got to balance like volume on the videos and shots, making sure you're capturing everything. So a lot to it. But yeah, that one deal is going to pay for the rent for that place for like 3 months maybe. I mean, it's insane. Getting deals from people before it hits the thrift is a very good thing to get into if you can figure out a way. If you can figure out a way to get the items before they go to the thrift store, you're going to be making better margins. better margins, yeah. I think as you grow your eBay business, your margins get smaller with increased overhead as well increasing fees and shipping cost. Yep, I would say so. But see, that's the thing with like most businesses, you know, most businesses. Some don't even start off as high as reselling. That's why reselling is such like a kind of golden goose for making 10 to like 40, 50,000, like let's just say 40,000. Like part-time, like that's pretty attainable because you're just like getting high value items at low cost. And I think when I looked up like side gigs, reselling was I think it said like 9 out of 10 Americans have resold something, you know, and then you got to figure out like what percentage actually does it for like a business. It's a lot, dude. It's because it's good. Oh no, man, the chat just jumped on me a little bit. Shoot. Here we go. Panda Picker says it's called a wife beater. Here we go. Swope says, I would say if you're like an elite level bencher, it's totally different. It's a totally different take than 205 to 225, but I get your point. Yeah. I mean, what is the thing? If you can hit 3 reps, you add 10 pounds, you should hit 1. Is that the ratio of that? But yeah, that's true. I mean, you get what I'm saying. Right? Like 225, I don't care. Like when you're young, it's like doing 1 plate, you know, like 135. That's like a big deal. And then, you know, like I never hit it in high school. It took me till I was like an adult to hit 225. And it's like those videos, like whenever you put it back on the rack and you just look around like waiting for like a beam of light to hit you and just like get showered in praise and stuff, and it just never, like everyone's like, all right, good job, good rep. Did you change all of your first class listings to ground advantage? No, I actually changed them. I did a shipping video that didn't do well because I didn't explain in detail enough about it, and somebody suggested that I watch a daily refinement video, and he said he does standard shipping. Standard shipping is 2 to 5 days on expected arrival, so it kind of encompasses both priority and first class at the time. So I switched everything to standard shipping, and I just left it at that. So I don't know, man. I'm just that's what mine is set to, standard shipping. So. And that was from Eat Sleep Thrift 83. And that picture you have, is that Boss Baby? Because at the daycare ladies call my son Boss Baby. So I don't know if that's a good thing. I've never seen the flick. I've never seen it. This one's a Nike Golf Tiger Woods collection. Usually these can sell for decent money. This was a pink one though and did not sell for that much. Alex Knight said I was at 50 to 55% early, making good money when I was in school. I've taken it to another level. I'm sitting closer to 40, 45%. Yeah, that's still actually really good. Swope says, I just picked up 21 Ryan Michael shirts brand new. Dude, that is a pickup. That's really good, dude. Those are like at least $50, if not way more. And brand new, they're probably like way more than that. Jared says, mine was a button-up Eileen style. I listed it for $115, took $90, paid $6. Dang, dude. Most retail stores mark up 50%, cost $5 and sell for $10. But when you take off expenses, they're probably netting $1. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about the whole retail stuff, but that probably is right. I mean, if you, yeah, it looks like you. I mean, it sounds like you know exactly what you're talking about. So he probably is. That's how I feel about used shoes. I just don't want to deal with them. Yeah, used shoes are extremely good. I mean, that's like high ASP. It can be good sellers, but storing 5,000 shoes is a lot different than storing 5,000 clothing items. It's just entirely different. Here's an Adidas polo. This one went for 19 shipped, so not too great. Adidas is probably one of the worst ones for like the athletic polo scene. It's really like, bleh. And that wasn't a good size. It was just like a regular size. I don't think Kevin meant that you weren't making good money, and I think that there was a confusion on what each of you were talking about. Well, he was talking about the margins being terrible, which I found out from the comments. But even still, I don't think he's even in a position to say that, or really anybody for that matter. So, Jared says 75% of my sales are from promoted items. Whoa, 75% are from promotions right now? Dang, dude. That's all. That means promoteds are helping. Like, they're helping. Okay, I guess here's the problem. So, like, you promote the listing, and you're telling eBay, like, hey, dude, I'm paying you this percentage. Get this in front of somebody's eyes so you can get the sale, right? But, like, I think you still have your organic one, because some people say I still sell organic listings. But it's advantageous for eBay to just never put the organic ones up because they want the percentage. So I don't know how they have that coded to, like, which one to show. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Man, I need to fix that right there. I'll have to do that later. Here's another Nike Tiger Woods Golf Collection one. This one's white. You got to be careful with the white because some golfers sweat. This one sold for $22 shipped, so it's 8 ounces. Let's see if there's any coffee left. There's like just that last little bit of drop. Mike says, right now I cannot stop because we're trying to double in size, so just making money as fast as possible. Once we hit 40K a month, we will turn off promoted listed and see how it goes. Yeah, I will definitely shock the store. I laugh because Melina says wife beater. Like every time I hear wife beater, I think of Britney Spears and what was it, Kevin Federline? That's like all I think about. That's all I can think about. Great Deals Depot. Let's do a best buy for the year so far. Go. Mine was a lot of 10 books I bought for $10 and 1 book sold for $4.60. Score. Yeah, dude. I'd say you might have won with that one, dude. My best sale was the Robert Graham I sold. Paid $5 and it sold for $300. I think 300 and some, maybe 300. Yeah, 300. It was new with tags, limited edition, pretty nice. One of my big sales was I bought this laser from a pawn shop for $120 and it sold for $550 in 2 weeks. So that was pretty good. Garage sales for sure before it goes to the thrift. Before it goes to the thrift? What are you talking about? Eat, sleep, thrift. Yosef says, how did you find out what books to sell? Good question. Good question. Yeah, Swope says 205 to 225 is a big mental challenge. The second plate intimidates. And it actually is a gravitational thing, right? Because it's like, it should be easier. But no, I remember one time I hit 8 reps on 205, and then I couldn't do 225 for once. So what I did was and then I was gassed because 8 was a max out on 205, and then I was like, well, I can't do it today. And then the next week I did 225 for 2, and that's the most I got, and I was weighing 175 at that. at that. So yeah, it's crazy. Stay home to shop. Do you have a mailing address for fan mail? I do. It's a P.O. box and it's in my link tree. Somebody had sent Seth a blanket with his name embroidered on it, and that was really cool. That was Michelle at Paradigm Global. She is a reseller and does stuff like that. But yeah, I had Rummage for Riches. They sent me a t-shirt. It's a Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, probably because they thought I was super strong, but or it's the hair. I am growing my hair out too, so be okay with the in-between. From the long locks you'll see in the back in a few months to what it's at now. I trimmed the beard a little bit because my son was just grabbing my beard and my face, but I trimmed it down a little too low because I gotta grow it out for these patches, or else it looks too much like Joe Dirt. But I think I need a 6 guard. I went with a 4, and that's I think it was a little short, but yeah, I do have it. It's on my link tree. If you go to it, it should be there. Okay, hang on. Let's go to another one here. 177.61. This is a Ralph Lauren Yarmouth. This one went for $21. Mike says, I get 2 listings on the page. One at the top of the page promoted, and then it pops up again at the bottom that's not promoted. So that's okay. So that's coming from somebody who's top tier, button up and clothing seller. He said his promotions gets 1 at the very top and then 1 at the bottom on the first page. So that kind of goes and tells you, The other thing, Mike, that I think about is when I look up certain brands, your listings are up there because 1, you have them listed, but 2, I think it's when you're a top seller in a category. I think that gets you some treatment too that other sellers don't get. Because eBay already knows that you're running so many sales in that category that they're going to put yours. It's almost like a you did solid promotion, so let me just put you up there anyway. I think that. But whatever. That's just me thinking. So probably wrong. Yeah, interesting, man. Dude, this is a long one. This is a long one, folks. I'm sorry. I didn't know y'all would all be strapped in for so long, and I didn't think I'd be going so slow. But we're at 84 viewers with 57 likes. So, like, no doubt that shows people are either working a lot on a Sunday or they just are chilling out, listening to some reseller talk. The other thing that's nice about the long ones is the people that are overseas, that are sleeping right now, and then the people that are, like, doing other things, they get like a nice block of content for when they're knocking out their photos this week or their listings. Do you guys, a great question would be, do you guys listen to anything when you do the computer work for the listings? Or like, is it only when you're doing photos, or do you just do it for both? That's actually a good poll question I think I should do. I think I should do something like that. For sure. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. So football season's coming up. These little padded ones. Dang it. It's backwards because it's a mirror pretty much. These sell really well. All right, this one didn't sell really well, but these typically sell pretty well. I think this one had some damage, and being white, you kind of want to get the black ones because these are like, you know, they're like undergarments, like they're padding. They're the little armor so that people don't feel as hurt when they get hit playing football. And like when you, I don't even think we had those when I played, but I remember putting on like my football pads and I would feel like a superhero. And I was like, dude, bring it on. I'm invincible. And then you realize when you get older that like those pads don't always help. Collision's a collision. It's mainly the head. I mean, that's why they do like the CTE and all that stuff. I mean, it's a pretty violent sport, but I think it's important though. I think that kind of sport's important in a person's life. All right. Mainly the team aspect of it. Panda says, I promote 2.1%, and my past 10 sales, only one was via promoted. So 10% sales, that's, I mean, something though, right? Something. Here's a Wrangler. These are denim jean shorts, or jorts as I like to call them. I stopped putting jorts in the category because I felt weird typing it. I was like, it's kind of a weird word. Like, if I wore jean shorts, I don't even know if I would click on it if it said jorts in it. Just because jorts is kind of it's a very particular kind of word, you know? Jorts. It's almost insulting. Like, oh, you're wearing some jorts? So, I don't know. I put jean shorts, denim jean shorts. They sold for $20, the jean shorts. And you can find this stuff for $1. $1 into 20. What are the margins on that? Let's see. I promote everything at 10%, but it only really works out to be 6% because 40% of sales are organic. It's all good. Huh. Okay. Interesting. I wonder if it matters on the category, the promotions. My promoted sales have a pattern. 5 in a row, no promo. 6 promo. Okay. Mike says, no, it's just one in the top that's promoted. Then my non-promoted is mixed in with the others that are not promoted. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Jared Dolan, do you do promotions? The answer is no, Jared. I do no promotions. I do not promote. And I need to do my next video. I do not promote, and then just like not have it even talk about promotions, but just so people are like, oh, he doesn't promote. I see it in big text on his thumbnail. He does not promote. Yo, wrench in the house. Brian Roning, what's up, man? Good to see you. Brian is a reseller out of Arizona, guys. Check out his shorts. His shorts are getting better, dude. You're doing a good job. I love improvement, and I see a lot of it in Brian. Thank you, Brian. Brian, you've missed one heck of a live. We're still rolling solid, though. Unfortunately, I still got a lot more to pack up. And I promise you guys, this normally doesn't take this long. It's because I'm talking and a bit distracted, and I'm out of fluids. So, like, I haven't had to go to the bathroom yet because I didn't get enough in me. It's just so, like, hot out right now. I mean, is the heat bothering people? Like, do you guys have a hard time going thrifting if you go to multiple stores or yard sailing even because the heat? Like, geez, man. I don't know where you guys live in the country, but it is very hot, dude. Very hot. Here's a pair of polo chino shorts. These ones sold for $24, and they're the 9-inch chinos. $24. Let's see. Panda the Picker listens to all that country music. Who do you like listening to in country? There's some good ones. You do listings as I'm... oh, God. Let's see. You said you're doing listings as I'm listening, David. Very well done, David. Yosef says, how do you guys get book sales? Good book sales. I would watch that one woman. The Australian Back from Burnout. She's a heavy bookseller. But I mean, she's in Australia, so I don't know if that's the same as American books. I bet you it is. Books get translated in all those languages, which I know they speak English. But do you think they changed some of the lingo for Australia? She was on a podcast episode with the Philly Flipper, and she was using all these words, and there was something called fairy bread, and what it is it's white bread with butter, and you put those sprinkles. You know the little ball ones? Not like the ones you'd see on, like not the rectangle, not the oval ones, but the little ball ones. They call it fairy bread, and they would put it at like birthday parties and stuff, and it was crazy. I was like, what are you even talking about? It was insane, but yeah, she's a bookseller. You got to go to a book channel, man. But honestly, like the strat that I heard for booksellers, Yosef, if you're listening, the strat I heard, because I talked to some too when I saw them at the thrift stores, they get this barcode scanner with their phone, and then they have that linked to a software. I think it's Scoutly, and then that's an Amazon app. But what it would do is when you scan it, it would show you like the average sale price and like the sale rank, which is like their sell-through rate, kind of, I guess. And you pretty much scan thousands of books, and anyone over like $10 you buy, and you just do that. But then you gotta like, this listing for books are way different. You need like author conditions, probably a big deal for books. So, but it's like low cost of goods. I mean, you're talking like 10 cents a book, maybe a quarter. Yeah. So if you're into that, it's definitely a way to make a living, I bet. Inglewood Deal says, taking pics and listing, I usually listen to reselling content like this. Makes me feel like I'm at work since everyone is talking about the same thing. That old water cooler talk, man. I honestly miss working at an office with like other people that watch football. Because I mean, I listen to podcasts about football, and I talk to my dad, my brother, and my cousins about it. But I can always use more. This is a Tommy Bahama linen shirt. It's a 2XB, and this one sold for $34. And it's blue. Oh, beautiful blue. David's just talking to Yosef. Talking about the barcodes. Yeah, okay. I didn't even see that. But yeah, you're speaking my language to Yosef. That's what I've heard, at least. And I've seen it happen. It seems pretty easy, but it seems kind of boring. You know, hard, too. That's laborious. And books are heavy, too. So, like, storing a bunch of books is going to be difficult. Anthony says jorts sounds like women's clothing, kind of how like the jeggings. I see the relation. That's pretty good. Man, I need to find some more linen Tommy Bahamas, man. There's a guy, he is in my building. He's on the 10th floor. His girlfriend actually is the property manager. And I showed him my store, and he goes, yo, he was talking to his friend. He's like, yo, he's got all those Bahama Mama shirts. He called them Bahama Mama shirts because I just did the buyout of the Tommy Bahama stuff. He's like, look at all these. It was very funny. He does like comedy stuff sometimes on the side. Let's see. Brian, what's up? Do you guys think garage sales are better than flea markets? Absolutely. I would say absolutely. Because most flea market vendors are going to be resellers in some form. You should promote your listings for 1 week at 5% promoted and make a video about the outcome. That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea, Mike. You guys tell me what app to sell books. I think Amazon might be better for books, but I honestly don't know. I have no idea. I know if you had like a first edition signed Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling herself, probably going to be a good book. You could sell on any platform, but I don't really know. I honestly have no clue. This is a multi-quantity order. This person, oh shoot. Hold on a second. I just pulled this one out. They bought 5 shirts. And they did get 1 Lululemon shirt, 2 Lululemon shirts, and then the rest were pretty low-end stuff. But it was 5 shirts, and they paid $80. Let's see. And we're going to put these 5 shirts. Oh, look at the colors. We're going to put these 5 shirts in a flat rate envelope. Maybe. Dang, it's actually pretty cheap. Oh, they're in Arkansas. Huh. It might be cheaper to use a poly mailer. Let's see. I got the big one right here. Here's the big poly mailer. I'm pretty sure Jiaropack has these big ones too. This is the, I think it's 19 by 14 and a half is what this one is. So, we're going to shove these on in here. Bam. There we go. It would have fit in a legal flat rate, but this is actually going to be like probably like 60 cents cheaper, I think, based on what I'm looking at on the eBay label fees. And it's 2 pounds. It's actually right over 2 pounds. So that's okay. And then we got the tape measure for rare occasions. Sean's first tape measure. It's actually like my 3rd tape measure. The first 2 I lost while I was working. If you guys know, let's see, 10 by 13 by 6. Do you guys remember Rex Tillerson? He was the secretary. He was the CEO of ExxonMobil, and then he was the Secretary of State for Donald Trump, and then he was fired because he disagreed with him. Anyway, I worked on his like house pretty much. I don't know if it's a house. I mean, those types of people have multiple houses, so I mean, it's one of his properties. And he had this dock, right? Like dock out to a pond. You know how people dig their own ponds? This pond was like a lake, like a small lake. And I was doing the deck for it, and it was that composite wood, and I dropped like a tape measure in there in the water. So disappeared. There you go. I also dropped a speed square during that job. It was just like, you were literally on the floats, like those big black floats, right? And then you had to bring the wood, and you're just like, you could drop into the water if you weren't careful. So that's where some of my tape measures and tools went. And I couldn't really afford much. Like losing the tape measure was kind of a big deal. Okay. Yeah, this one's $7.20 label on that one. Brian says, yo, like the video to help him out. Michael's helping Yosef out. He says Amazon. Yosef says, Brian, do you have an Instagram? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Brian Ronan, can we connect somehow since you're in a 1-bedroom apartment? That's a good job. Yeah, that's Yosef. Brian actually is in a similar situation as you. He's selling out of a tight area. So, I mean, you're in a tight space too. Latch on. That's what I would do. Latch on. He's a good resource too for selling. Okay, here we go. We got a Ralph Lauren. This is a 3XLT. And see, this is like a faded. It's like a faded polo. You know how a lot of them, it's like, it's been washed a lot, you know, and the color kind of loses its fade, or it loses its like crispness, the sharpness of it. This one still sold for $24 though. So like, we're digging the $24 on the faded. It's because it's a 3XLT is most likely it. Yeah, Yosef, just a DM Brian. Net Business says, do you send out offers to watchers, and how often do you send them out? I send them out all the time. I usually do 30% on my common items, and then if it's like an item that I know can sell for more, I'll send 15 to 20% depending on how long it's been in the store. If it's like a brand new item that I have listed, I'll send a 10% offer. But yeah, I send offers out nonstop. I accept a lot of offers as well. So I think I did the data. I think it was like 42% was like offers that I sent out were sales. And then like another big chunk was like accepted offers. So it's that honestly, like the offers and stuff, in my opinion, is how you can kind of curb not promoting. Like you're giving good deals and you're getting sales. Like if I gave out 0 offers, my numbers would be way worse. More terrible. Panda says, estate sales are pretty good for vintage books. I just look them up. Sometimes at the end of the sales, they will donate the rest, and sometimes they'll let you take them all. What a tip from Panda the Picker. Yeah, a lot of people ignore the book section in those types of sales, too. They're always looking for the tech room or the video game stuff or like the TV, you know, like the electronics. And I would go for the clothes, but it's typically grandma clothes every time I'd go to them. But yeah, there's definitely, estate sales are interesting, but the companies themselves kind of, a lot of them are resellers, and a lot of them like price up to keep the items themselves, or say they'll be like, well, I'll buy it because it didn't sell. There's a little bit of shadiness in that world, which is a bit frustrating. But if you make the right relations, it can be very beneficial. How do you find estate sales living in Penn? I would Google them probably. Does Tommy Bahama clothes really sell? Just getting into clothing, where I do. Yeah, I would put Tommy Bahama similar to like Polo Ralph Lauren. Tens of thousands listed, but like tens of thousands sold. Certain ones sell for a tremendous amount of money, and then others it's like, yeah, okay, I guess it's fine. Yeah, you're definitely going to make money selling those brands. You just got to be careful how much you pay, because thrift stores will price them up like crazy because they overvalue certain brands, you know. Certain stores do certain brands for sure, too. Dang, Ground Advantage. That one's over a pound, and the Ground Advantage was $6.94, so that was pretty cool. Ah, it just jumped, man. Woo. Let's go back down. Here we go. So... Uh-oh. Brian's talking about getting into books. Hey, you and Yosef could team up. Great Deals Depot says, agreed, estate sales are a great place for books. I took all my books off eBay. I was going to just get rid of them, and then I started looking them up on Amazon. Had great sales price. That's pretty awesome, man. I messed up my Amazon account, man. I like set it up and like didn't sell anything, and then I wanted to get into like selling heavily, but then I didn't know my password, so you can request your code and they send you a code in the mail in big red letters. Then when I went to apply it, like I like had deleted the email, or I don't know, like I like forgot the email. There was some stupidness that happened, and then like now it just brings me to the same page saying like submit the code to like authenticate. I don't know, I haven't looked into it a while, but it's kind of fried. I think it's a pretty serious thing too with Amazon. They're quick to like block you off forever because probably because of the amount of fraud that they deal with. So got to be careful with that. All right, we're getting close. This is the end of the second box. Bloop. Oh, just throw that out of the way. Somebody's like, why don't you throw the items in a bag whenever you're like shipping? And I like tossing the item behind me. So like if I had a big basket, one, it would take up some space, which I wouldn't really like because I just wouldn't. But two, have you ever like been working with wood or like any type of construction? You see like a big mess pile at the end and you're just like, I did all that. That's how I feel with the labels, like the packages. I just feel like it's my big pile of mess, and I'm okay looking at it. Like, and I like scooping it up at the end. And honestly, it doesn't take but like 20 seconds to put them in the bag. So like, if I turned around and had to throw them in a bin, like, and then it just seems like it's just not that big a time save, you know. But people have gotten on to me about it. This one is a Lucky Brand Henley. This Lucky Brand Henley sold for $20. Henleys are pretty strong. $20, pretty common. Some people will buy multiple Henleys. Yosef's still on the book stuff. People trying to give him a hand. Panda is. Do you give a shipping discount for multiple items like the 5 you just showed? Yes, Tim. I do $8.99 shipping for the first item and then $2.99 shipping for any additional item. And they're cool with that. Some people are cool with that. Most people are cool with that. But yeah, you get $3 extra per item. Don P. Just wanted to say what's up, man. Hit the like button. Thanks, Don. I appreciate having you in, man. A lot of your guys' comments meant a lot to me on the last video. Not that I was like sobbing reading, but like I was so affected. And then to know that so many people came out and watched it and wanted to share what they were thinking, it meant a lot. It was very cool. It was very cool. Very interesting too. Like the engagement and stuff on that type of video. It'd be like whenever I talked about Goodwill and the lady forced a roundup, and then another time she actually, and this is the same lady, she actually said, like, she got in an argument because I chose not to round up, and talking about like supporting them and stuff, and like that conversation also brought a lot of like people wanting to voice their opinion. So it's like some things just kind of hit people's nerves a little bit different, but it's nice to know like the people that come in and hang out with the live and like, you know, support the channel as you know, as like not basic, but as like new as the channel is. Like, I'm not like the best editor, I'm not like as creative as some people, and I'm not finding like great bolo items, but I like that people are still kind of like, dude, you're doing all right, man. Like you're doing well enough to watch, like good enough. So it really means a lot. These pants right here are actually pretty good, and I just clicked through them, man. Dang it. Let's see. These are they sold for $27 plus shipping. All right, here we go. Right here. So it's called Off the Grid. It's a new brand for me. These ones, was it Eddie Bauer? No, yeah, they're just called Off the Grid. I did find some Eddie Bauer ones that were a particular model that actually sold for good money, but I think it was during the week, so I don't have it. These sold for $27 plus $9, so $36 on the Off the Grid pants. Anytime you find like hiker, trail, like that type of stuff, I mean, that stuff does pretty good, man. It's like, you kind of think those people too usually have some money. If their leisure time is going hiking and stuff, and like using grappling gear, or like they're buying you know, like the expensive water bottles, they're the ones buying the Patagonia Better sweaters. Those guys are spending $35 on some used pants, you know. Like, that's a little thing. So right here, if you see like right there, that little orange and blue, that's the Rock Revival size indicator, and then also the big old like things on the buttons and stuff. These are a pair of cargo shorts, and they sold for $41 for Rock Revival. I pretty much buy most Rock Revival. The women's the women's jeans aren't as great as I thought they would be. So like, don't think if you see Rock Revival men's jeans being like 80 to 100, the women's are definitely not that. I'm sure some might be. I don't know. I usually see them going for much less. Panda says, Taylor, do you ship to APOS? Yeah, so with that, I just do the global shipping. I don't know if I have it checkmarked or not. I want to say no. I want to say no, but honestly don't remember what I set mine up at. David says, yeah, state sale companies are shady. Hey, how do I like the video? There's a thumbs up button if you're new to YouTube next to the video title description page. You just press the thumbs up, and there you go. Helps the channel out. People talk about it because I guess it helps engagement. But I watched a Mr. Beast video, and he was talking about how like likes and comments don't matter. It's all about engagement on the video. So I don't know, man. I just like to see the like. It boosts. It makes me happy. It makes me happy to see the likes. So yeah, we're down to 69. A lot of 69 viewers, 63 likes. So yeah, when we were up at 80, we were on top of a mountain. We were literally living the high life. We were at the Jake Ride flips, the Nurse Flipper, Harry Tornado type stratosphere, where they're in like the hundreds of people watching. But now we're back down to just, we're at the crew. This is kind of the crew. So if you're here, you're a real one. Let's just say that. And if you left early, you probably had better things to do. Let's be honest. I've been on here a while, and that's because I'm just still going pretty slow. And dude, I had like 60 something to pack, and you know, talking and packing and talking and packing. This is a cinch plaid shirt. This one went for $23, long sleeve button up. So it's gonna be 12 ounces, but I gotta take out the plastic liner to get it to 12. Panda the Picker says, some estate sale companies either don't know what they're doing, or some of them are 3x eBay prices. Yeah, the best estate sales are when families just run their house sale pretty much and call it an estate sale, and they are just doing a garage sale with everything in their house because they're really just trying to move stuff. Those are the ones that are good. Those are the best that I've seen. I honestly miss doing all that stuff. I think when my son's older, we'll do more of the garage sale thing so I can get him a bunch of awesome toys and like shoes and stuff. But yeah, right now it's a little tough. We got a bit of a routine going on in the morning, so we kind of stick to that. Great Deals Depot says, I started back on eBay because I was scared Amazon was just going to shut us down. Dude, I've heard it happen, man. I've heard it happen. Dana's giving the big thumbs up. Yosef says, I got estate sales app, thanks. Awesome, man. Go ahead. Yeah, it's just like little things like that, Yosef. You know, like today you found something new, you learned something tomorrow. By a year's time, like you know so much stuff, and then you're like, you know what? Let me take what I've learned and kind of like shift it to something else. That's kind of how it works, man. It's hard to just get all that in 1 hour, is what. Because, you know, your brain will be fried with all the new information in 1 hour, and you'll probably only retain like a small percentage of it. And I just didn't want you paying like a high premium because, you know, my time would be worth, for me to do it, it'd be a little bit of an expense that I didn't want you to have to pay. Here's a Travis Matthew. This is a crew neck shirt. A lot of the crew neck shirts for Travis Matthew, they've definitely been selling, but I don't come across them all that often. This one went for 21 bucks though, so probably paid like $2 on this one. A lot of the t-shirts I'm paying $2, and it's 7 ounces, which is delightful. Delightful, 7 ounces, dude. I'm getting tired of sitting though. Like I'm gonna definitely work out after this because my like muscles are just ready to do something else, man. Mr. Say says hot topic because some of the big tubers don't have the sales to back up the big talk. Ooh, that's true. And one of the reasons for that is because it's hard. It's hard to be consistent with content and run bigger businesses. It's hard. I mean, I paid for help this year so that I could build the eBay or the YouTube channel and my other business, and it's like the money I pay kind of is equal to the money I'm making. So like eventually it'll kind of like surpass, but right now it's not quite. But I don't really look at it till the end of the year. So David says women's market for Rock Revival is flooded, so the prices are low. Interesting. I also think women aren't wearing that stuff anymore too. I think they're going towards that the grunge style, you know. Here we go. So, if you guys were wondering, the Wrangler Pearl Snaps that I got in Oklahoma City, the first one sold. I have 72 left, so if you need a size medium, black Pearl Snap, you know where to go. This one sold full price, so that feels good that I priced it right. $15.99 plus $8.99 shipping, so that's right at, you know, 16 plus 9. It's at that $25 mark. So, 72 to go. 72 Wrangler Pearl Snap shirts, 72 Wrangler Pearl Snaps. You sell one now, you take it on down. 71. Yeah, so we got a lot to go. But I think once that listing sells another couple, it's gonna sell fast. I do think that. Are there any clothing brands that are considered trademark type stuff? Yeah, there's some. There's definitely some. I think a lot of it, though, is going to be your designer, like your high-end designer stuff, because they're going to think that you're putting fakes into the market. Like some new with tags, Levi's even will get you. So it's kind of an interesting thing. I think a lot of it's new with tags, though, because I wonder where you got it from. All right, here's a Dallas Cowboys short sleeve floral shirt. This one sold for 21 bucks. Football stuff, floral. It's always kind of a cool one. Okay, let's see. I always measure it, and then I'm like, dude, what was the measurement? And then I just like have to remeasure it. I need to fix that. David says, which is Shoe Shop Merchant, says, Doll Skill are jerks about reselling their products. Doll Skill? Every time I list Doll Skill, I get warnings from the platforms. Yosef says, shut, laugh out loud. All right. No designer stuff where I live. Yeah, tell me about it. 2 sales on this vid. Wrangler, or WTG, Sean. Way to go. I haven't heard WTG. All right, yeah. Awesome, boho armadillo. I like that. we were just talking about armadillos. I sold a cinch shirt with an all-over print armadillo on it, and I was mentioning how the only armadillos I've ever seen have been roadkill, unfortunately. I think they're just too slow for the roads, you know? Or they just, like, are suicidal armadillos. This is a vintage Wrangler shirt. It did have a stain on the front. Sold for 19 bucks shipped. But it's got that vintage look, man. A lot of people like it. Stained or not, they're going to wear it. Okay. Man, it's getting, like, uber hot, man. I think it's because the sun is setting, and it's getting hot, like, in front of my face. Is it too dark if I shut this? No, the camera adjusted a little bit. It's definitely a little darker though. But it's getting too hot, folks. I can't take it anymore. Missile Shay says, I've heard Grunt and Jeep brand products are Veros. Do you mean Grunt style or do you mean just Grunt and Jeep as a brand? Man, because I sell a bit of Grunt style. Let's see. This is a lavender shirt. All right, we got like, I think 7 left. Whew. Okay. Let's get it, guys. Man, dude, it is hot, dude. It is hot right now. All right, that's a lavender. So that's Peter Millar, and I put lavender purple just because it's not like, it just looks lavender. So this one sold for $22.50. The Peter Millar Summer Comfort lavender. And it's going to be 9 ounces. David says, okay, I'm out, man. Take care. Hey, take it easy. Thank you for coming in, David. I'll see you Tuesday. I think I'm going to show up. I think. Whoa, TMI, boho armadillo. Hey, I'm just saying. Here in Texas, they're like, they're all over the place, man. On the highways. Upside down. Okay. My wife called, and it, interesting enough, popped the screen from OBS into my YouTube screen. Sorry, babe. I'm sorry. Can't answer right now. She's coming back, I think. But I will have to wrap this up. We've been on quite a while. Yosef says, why would Amazon shut you down? Are you afraid if you make them money? Yosef, it's definitely look into it, Yosef, but people getting shut down on Amazon is way more common than you can imagine. It's got to be because of fraud and stuff, and like people sell the wrong things because a lot of businesses they want to hold all the sales because their listings are on Amazon, so they don't want third-party sellers taking any sales away from them. I think that's part of it too. This is a Patagonia. This is a flannel, and I sold it for $28 plus 9, so $37 shipped on the flannel. Yeah, Boho knows what I'm talking about. Why'd you name your thing Boho, though? What was that all about? Boho armadillo? You just like them? Can you do a new video? Can you do new videos on the whole process of measuring men and women's clothing? Dude, I think my most popular video is that exact video. It's got like 33,000 views, I think. Check that one out, man. If you don't... I mean, I just do pit to pit in the length. I don't do any other measurements. I really think that's enough. For guys, at least. Women's, it's a little bit more. This is a pretty cool one. It's got like a plaid mixed with like a digital print, like a digital plaid or something. That's a Robert Graham one that I'm about to pat. Oh, boy. I got to finish up. I got to call the wife back, see what's going on. I think my parents are doing food and stuff too. Okay, this one is... Yeah, so this was a 2XLT. This is a blue and purple plaid, and it sold for $50. That's Robert Graham. Or Graham. Graham? Graham? Graham. Robert Graham. All right, 12 ounces. That's why I took that bag out, so it could be under. Boho says, I sell mostly women's clothes, bohemian style. Okay, that makes sense. Swoop says, have you ever tried to make connections with swap meet vendors or people who buy out storage units? I talked to one guy who is in the storage unit game, and he says that it is My wife called again. I may have to get off and answer. She called twice. All right. Well, let's finish up, y'all. Let's finish up. I don't want to. I've definitely been on here long enough. Yeah. Swoop. One guy said that the clothing is just bad. He says it's but who knows what he thinks is bad and stuff. But yeah, he said it's not great. I honestly like swap meet, like people, vendors here. This town is not where it's at for like clothing type sales. There's a lot of women's consignment. A lot of people shopping. The thrift stores going and putting it in their own store. Like, there's the swap meets, all that stuff is in Dallas, Fort Worth, and I don't drive there enough for that kind of stuff. So, last page looker, I'm really loving all your videos. Thanks for the free advice. I appreciate you watching. Continue on, and let me, if you have any like topics, let me know. Yosef, I'll see about another video. The thing is, like, it's hard to do a video about taking 2 measurements of clothes, pit to pit and length. That's all I do. Okay, so. Well, I mean, Comic-Con says clothing can be good for storage units. Need to someone to take the rest to. Yeah, I don't know. Buying a storage unit seems intimidating. I'd love to do some videos on it, but I'm not at that position yet. And I don't have a truck right now, too, so I'd have to buy a truck. But I appreciate all you guys watching.